Okay, so I think we're live. Sorry I'm a little late. It's good to see everybody already in the chat. I was out doing more shit on location, and I got home in plenty of time, but I've been trying to upload them to my computer and had the wrong cord and all of that shit. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, it's good to see everybody. Let's see who's in here. We got Beardew in here. I think I know who that is. Yes, I've been following. We're gonna show something that's going on in Tennessee. Good to see you, though, buddy. Honeybee's here. Honeybee's amazing. I've been watching her stuff religiously, almost. Awesome stuff. Awesome shit. Honeybee's amazing. Good to see everybody. I think I just saw Paula. Hi, Paula. How are you? Good to see you. Mustang 65's in here. Hey, Mustang, how's it going? Good. Tracy Fleetwood is here. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Farku's here. Dandy's here again. Hey, Dandy. How are you? Good to see you. Also, I was on yesterday morning. I was on Dirty Diana's channel again. She's awesome. Great stuff. Great show. Great information. Mustang 65. Do you have a channel that was posted? Did you want posted? It's good to see Fleetwood in here. It's always good to see new people in here. Always good to see everybody, of course. Farku's amazing. Dandy's in here. Dandy's awesome. No more Curious Contrarian. That's who I thought it was. Yeah, absolutely. Once I hear the word tornado, I know it's Beardew, Curious Contrarian. Thank you, Honeybee. Thank you very much. Heather's here. Hi, Heather. How are you? Apparently, Heather got good news this week. That's good news. Always constantly worried about her. Sweet dude Shibby's here. Good to see you, buddy. Saw you this morning too on Dirty Diana's channel. I know that RNM is alive too, so I didn't want to bump into that. I was sitting right on your page for the notification. Got there like 12:50. Yeah. You're making a list so you can post. Awesome. All right. Play an intro, and then I'll be back. It's good to see everybody in here. Like I said, I was a little late. I was all the way down in Derry, New Hampshire, trying to get some footage and trying to get it uploaded to the computer. And I had the wrong cord. But let me hide my face here. So let me play an intro, and I'll be back. Good to see everybody, though. Hope everybody's well. I haven't seen Mino Dino for a while. Hope he's well. Hope he's doing okay. But anyways, I'll be back shortly, and then we'll get going on it. There's Dino right there. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, Mino Dino. All right, so let's play an intro, and I'll be right back. All right, so that's the end of that. Good to see everybody again in the chat. Good to see Honeybee here. Well, Honeybee. Honeybee is an amazing person. She's got amazing stuff. Also, Tracy Fleetwood is here. I almost said McFleetwood. Goes to show you what I'm thinking about. Because I was listening to some Fleetwood Mac on the way back from Derry, so that's why. But if you want a wrench, let me know, Tracy Fleetwood. That way, if you want to post channels in here, you can do that. You don't have to do anything if you have a wrench. If Southern Gal was in here, she'd be telling people I'm throwing wrenches at people. All right, so what am I doing? Saturday Night Fever here. And I'm eventually going to start to write my own music for my own, but it's just everything's so freaking busy right now. I just don't have time to do that stuff. So I kind of, your daughter was named after Fleetwood Mac, Brianna? Sure, you can wrench me. Never have enough wrenches, trust me, especially when you don't put it back. All right, so what are we going to do first? We're going to go, let's do some Tennessee flooding shit first. Hold on. I don't know where people are located, but it's been pretty miserable weather-wise. Pretty sure it's been pretty bad everywhere, but I wish Mick was my rich uncle. Yes. You feeling oops coming up? Maybe, who knows? So let's go to the flooding and here. The weather's been really horrible. It's nasty here today. Yeah, this is the reason why people don't live in New England right here. It's just miserable rain, just cold, rainy, nasty, terrible. All right, so let's do this here. What did I just do? A second here. 1 second. All right, so this, I think this was a couple of days ago here, but let me cancel this here. Good to see Heather in here too. All right, so this was going on ago. It's just really early, kind of early for this kind of rain here. But
here.
This came out of Nashville, a little east of Nashville, I think. But and I got another one I can play that just came out. Let's play this here.
Look at the vehicle submerged by the railroad tracks. As you can see there is high water. The vehicle is submerged right now. Folks, you know, you want to turn around, don't drown. You never want to drive into flooded waters like this. This is not a good thing to do. This is the concern as we head into the morning hours because we've already had so many tornado-warned storms. Flash flooding is going to become the next big threat. I mean, severe weather may be a threat for the next several days, but flash flooding is really going to be a big concern.
Isn't that cool, though? Hold on a second. I was literally at a dance party all day, so my little one could be filmed for an upcoming PBS show. A friend does. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Uh-oh, here comes Dino. Shibby, don't use my name, though. I'm still in a contract with the knockoff. Hilarious. Oh, that is awesome. That's freaking incredibly awesome. Remember, what was that show? The Uncle Gus show? Remember the Uncle Gus show? If people are old enough to remember that. I think my brother was on it. My brother and my sister were on it.
Because we are getting doused with water. Again, this is over in Murfreesboro Road right now. The vehicle at the railroad.
No matter how many times you tell people not to drive in, rising floodwaters, they'll do it anyways. It's just people are just, look at this guy.
This is a vehicle submerged. I hope someone's helping them. That is a dangerous situation. This is a great reminder and a friendly reminder, folks. Turn around, don't drown. You never know how deep the water truly is. This is a very, very dangerous situation. And again, we are going to be watching that.
All right, so that was 2 days ago, and I have, hold on a second, I have this one here. This is this here.
And Marcus, downpours across the mid-state led first responders to make several rescues. Jaxie Pigeon is with us in studio this morning to share video from a few of those scenes, Jaxie.
Well, Peyton, so far this week, the Nashville Fire Department says it's had 15 water rescue calls, none of which have resulted in any injuries. The ground was already saturated and the rivers are full, causing several roads to. Despite warnings and barriers, drivers are going through the floodwaters and getting stuck. This is video of a water rescue in South Nashville near Trevecca University. The floodwaters rose from Browns Creek along Murfreesboro Pike, which overflowed its base when 5 inches of rain fell in 24 hours. Luckily, the Office of Emergency Management.
Not completely sure yet, but I kind of, hey, Karen Lee's here. Good to see Karen Lee in the chat. Karen Lee's awesome. Karen Lee's the person that needs it. We had flooding in my town a few decades back where a man drove into the flooding road and went into a sinkhole and unalived. Yeah, that's, you just don't want to do it. It's not a good idea. But anyways, going back to this, I'm pretty sure that this is beginning to be what they call a kind of like a reverse El Nino season here shaping up, where you're going to get a ton of water. Because we have, I can't be sure because I haven't done any numbers in March yet, but it's been pretty wet so far. But the way I think is, I'd rather get rain now than in the summer. So let's be thankful we're getting it now, because we don't want it in July and August like we did last year. That was awful.
Management tells us they are prepared for these types of rescue missions. Here's one of the 911 calls.
We get 2 months of summer here, and that's it. So we want those 2 months. We don't want a ton of rain.
To first responders from earlier this week.
Hi, I am on the corner of Craig's Head and Nolensville Pike. There is extreme flooding. My car just got stuck in it, so I'm on the side of the road. And there are multiple cars that are trying to get out of it now.
All right, I've got a call sent up for Craighead Street and Nolensville Pike in the Chestnut Hill area. Just don't put yourself in any danger. Keep your phone closed.
Yes, ma'am.
Call us back if anything changes.
Yes, ma'am. I am nervous.
Us New Englanders want our damn summer. We only get 2 months, 8 weeks. That's it. And we want all of it. Look at this. This whole road's flooded.
The water is rising, it seems, over here, but I'm going to get out of the car and start walking up the hill if I need to.
And we are expecting rain this weekend, so be sure not to drive across any flooded roads. Yeah. Peyton.
Good idea. People will do it. It doesn't. All right, let's. I had an earlier one here. Let's do this one here, and then we'll move on to other shit. This one was, I think, 16 hours ago. Actually, let's. I don't want to do that one. I don't think I can. Let's do flooding in Hardin County. Let's do this one here. This was done 46 minutes ago. This is the latest.
From flooded roadways to homes taking on water, the flooding is also impacting many areas in Hardin County.
WOKY's Megan Matthews spent the day there and shows us what the community is experiencing.
Yes, that's for sure. Like North Carolina is fantastic for summer. North Carolina and South Carolina, either one. 2 months of summer, that's very short. Yep, we get 8 weeks. That's it. It's supposed to snow in the next couple hours here in Northwest Arkansas. Storm. Yeah, you're on the other side of that. That's why. Yep. Heather, I was at a gun show in your city today. In Michigan? Yeah, I don't think we're done with snow here either. Yep. Remember a couple of years ago, we got the April Fool's Day blizzard. Remember that? That was, oh shit. Yeah, I got to get Tracy Fleetwood a wrench.
We are out in Hardin County, and right behind me is the White Mills Historical Bridge. And as you can see, it is completely covered by water, and that current is moving at a very, very fast pace. Now, officials are telling me that it's about 30 feet over that water line, and for this portion of the community, it's going to be really devastating. Throughout Hardin County, residents are running into water, lining most of the roads throughout the community.
Our county is the 4th largest in the state of Kentucky, and it's just so big. We have multiple different areas affected and a lot of roadways affected as well.
Joey Scott, the Hardin County Emergency Management Director, told us they are urging the community to stay aware and to follow safety precautions.
6 inches of water can move a car. So, you see all the slogans out there, and we're serious about it. You know, again, with a lot of these country roads and stuff, you have dips in the road, and it can be a lot deeper than you anticipated when you drove into it.
In areas like White Mills near the Nolan River, many houses have major flooding with around 6 feet of water surrounding the neighborhoods.
I haven't seen water that's been up as high in certain areas of the county in my life, and I've lived in Hardin County my life, so it's scary for a lot of people. You know, they're having water come up to their homes, and they've never seen that before. So it's having a big effect.
Keith Toll, the judge executive for Hardin County, said it's not just this area that is seeing the impact, but also places like Elizabethtown. Has almost a foot of standing water leading up to many homes.
We do have a few homes that's been affected directly from on the rivers.
Did I say Michigan? Sorry, Wisconsin. It's close. I was close. I got that can't remember shit thing. It's just somebody's in Michigan. I know somebody's that usually comes in. Our peach trees that are blooming got 2 nights of below. Oh no, it sucks. Can we send Mother Nature some Midol? Yeah, you might need to. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really hot summer too. That's just my opinion. The high water sign better be tall. Yep. You got peach trees? That's amazing. I usually get what you get the next day in southern Indiana. I'm over the snow and rain for a while. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of snow here. We got all the snow in like 3 weeks here, but we didn't get, I don't know where we are for an average this year, but I would probably guess we're pretty below or maybe normal. It wasn't a very snowy winter here, but it was freaking cold. It's still cold.
We will have some in Colesburg as well, probably within the next 24 to 48 hours, possibly 72 hours.
In Hardin County, Megan Matthews, WLKY News.
I mean, they just got flooding there last year from Helene, so in Tennessee. So let's hold on a second. Let me get out of this here, and I want to go to a map here really quick. Yeah, it's good to see everybody here in the chat. Tracy, does Indiana get tornadoes? Yeah, Indiana's in. I think Indiana's in the tornado technically. Is Beer Jew in here? Still? So this is the problem here, right? This is not good. You got all of this high pressure. You got look at this different in the temperature. You got 87, 81, right? 84 way east, and then you go back towards the to the west of this here, and you got quite a drop off. 51, 49. So you get this is definitely low pressure coming through. You got warm air on the east side of this, and then back on the western side of this, it's got really cold, right? 51. I mean, this is a huge temperature difference here. This major front here that's coming through, and this high pressure is causing it right here. So once this moves out here, once this low pressure, you know, it's not going to go through this, but it'll move it, and then it'll kind of scoot out this way. But it's going to get wet. It's going to be wet for a while. So, and I don't think I can get my short range here. Nope. I don't know what's going on with that. It's not working tonight. So anyways, it's going to be wet. This guy here, this Storm Chaser Brandon is awesome, but I don't want to play this stuff because I'm not allowed to. All right. So, let's, those damn Canadians are messing with the jet stream. Yeah, they are. They mess with a lot of shit. All right. So what are we doing? Hold on 1 second. I do want to go to this story that we were covering a couple weeks ago here. But anyways, it's going to be wet for sure. There's no doubt in my mind the next couple of weeks for sure. I do want to go to the Kansas City Chief fans thing again, because here it is. Let's see here. Well, we'll do something else first. Hold on a second. We'll do Let's do this here. Did we do this last week? I don't think so. Let me play this. This is the case for that decades old case here. This here, they finally pulled this car up, but I think they actually were able to identify her as being the person who was in the car. Because remember, we were watching this a couple weeks ago, but they didn't identify her yet. But these podcasters were the ones that kind of cracked this case here. So, and I think they're actually law enforcement. I'm not sure, but this is the Michelle Sheffer case, right? Karen Shepard, sorry. But we were covering this away. So 3 days ago, police in Elgin, Illinois launched a podcast to draw attention to the cold case of Karen Shepard, who disappeared in 1983. In March, her car was discovered in the Fox River, and authorities confirmed the remains inside were hers. And this is News Nation here. So, second, let me make sure I'm sharing this here. Yeah, let's play this.
Big news tied to a cold case that sat idle for some 40 years. But now the case of a missing Illinois woman may finally be solved. This past week, police discovering a submerged vehicle belonging to a woman who seemingly vanished back in 1983. Search teams pulling a 1980 canary yellow Toyota Celica out of a river about 35.
I know one thing, it's definitely killing the bees. Like the bees are gone. Honeybees. And it's not just our honeybee, it's all the honeybees. Like if you go looking for a honeybee, you're probably not going to find them. I haven't seen bees for a long time. I've seen plenty of wasps and hornets and shit like that, but honeybees, Texas got more snow than you did this year. Yeah, fire season's probably going to be bad too, especially if it dries out quick. The snow's gone here though. They arrested 2 people in connection. Yes, they did. I'll be playing that shortly. I must have lost it.
5 miles northwest of Chicago. Happened to Karen Shepard has persisted for decades, but now authorities do say the remains found inside that car are indeed that of Karen's. So I would like to welcome in now the 2 leaders of that podcast, Detectives Andrew Houghton and Matthew Vartanian with the Elgin, Illinois Police Department. Detectives, thank you both for giving us some of your time today. First of all, really a big deal here. What is the latest on this case? We know the human remains were confirmed to be Karen Shepard's, but is there any way to gather more info on how she may have died after all of this time?
Woman's in here. Hey, Woman Doing Chaos. Good to see you. I see Woman Doing Chaos everywhere. I say hi to her everywhere. She probably thinks I'm following her. Good to see you. Dirty Diana's in here too. You guys must have come in together. Good to see everybody here in the chat. Like I said, I was on Dirty Diana's channel again this morning, yesterday morning, actually. She's amazing. We got to get her to 1,000 subscribers here soon. Good to see you, though. Good to see Woman Doing Chaos in here. Good to see everybody in here. Just going over this case, we went over Candy M is in here. Good to see Candy M. And I know, thank you, Honeybee, for putting that in there. Like I said, if you have channels and you have wrenches, you can throw your channel in here. I got to get Tracy Fleetwood a wrench here. Fun fact, dandelions are a honeybee's first food of the season. I didn't know that. I thought dandelions were just stuff you had to mow. Good to see you, Dirty Diana, for sure. All right, let's get back to this here.
Yeah, we're still going through that process. Obviously, that entails dealing with the King County Coroner's Office. We've had a forensic anthropologist come out from Northwestern to review the remains. Forensic odontologist also came out. So we're working through that process with the Coroner's Office right now.
All right, so she went missing back in 1983. It's 2025. Was that river searched before at any point over this 42 years that she'd been missing?
Yeah, when we first looked at this case, we weren't able to find anything documented that was ever done. So we wanted to make sure that we were as thorough as possible. The family deserves that, and so does Karen. So we want to just make sure that we didn't leave any box unchecked in this case. And we knew that at some point we were going to do that. It was just a matter of logistics with Chaos Divers who assisted us with that.
All right, that should have worked. Let me know if that worked for you, Tracy. I think I just gave you a wrench, but who knows? If it doesn't work, I'll do it again. Good to see everybody in here again. Who wants their channel posted? Honeybee's awesome. All right, let me do this here.
Yeah, there were some aerial searches, but no underwater searches that we were able
You see
to.
that gown? What the hell kind of? That's an amazing gown. Look at
that
this.
We were able to
Hold on a
identify.
second.
Well, I mean, great detective work there. So in addition to being detectives, you both host this cold case podcast. What made this particular case, what made Karen's case stand out?
And there were some aerial searches, but
Look
no.
at that gown. Where'd it go? Wow. Hold on a second.
And we were going to do that. It was just a matter of logistics with Chaos Divers who
Wow. Look at that thing.
assisted us with that.
Yeah, there were some aerial searches, but no underwater searches that we were able to identify.
Well, I mean, great detective work there. So in addition to being detectives, you both host this cold case podcast. What made this particular case, what made Karen's case stand out?
A couple things. I think number one, the family was willing to do this with us. So they were willing to come on, they were willing to give us information, they were willing to go back through this whole process and also let us publicize it. And then the case had so many different theories in terms of what could have happened that we felt like.
Yeah, Honeybee is amazing. Honeybee is I'm so glad I met Honeybee on Rick's channel because Tracy's gonna fix some Humvees with her wrench. Yeah. I just told her like you can never have enough wrenches, that's for sure. Let's see. Okay.
Like there was not as much hold back information as we would normally have in a homicide case, because we truly didn't know what happened to her, whether she went missing and there was foul play, whether it was an accident, whether it was anything else. So we felt like we could give out more information. It was made the case kind of unique.
I don't think they know if this was foul play or not yet. I'm not sure I know they ID'd her. I think it was last week or so, but I don't think they got a cause of death yet.
And how has Karen's family reacted to all of this? You know, first it was doing this, even the search of the river, and then pulling up this car and then confirming that the remains are in fact hers.
Yeah, the family has been truly amazing to work with. I mean, they had the time of day last week to ask us how we were doing. And that is just amazing to me, just the quality of human beings that they are. Very understanding, very open, just very welcoming with, re-examining everything that we've had here.
And detectives, my last question for you, again, because all of this really kind of sprang from your great work, that podcast. When it comes to cold cases, from your perspective, what is the most important thing? What is your message to the people watching right now?
I think the biggest thing is that in the past, people may have not contacted the police for a number of different reasons, but we want to make sure that people feel like they can contact us, whether it's something large or small. Let us work out the details. Things have passed from years and years ago in terms of technology changes and things like that as well. So looking at new technology and making sure we have buy-in from the community to trust us to give us information is kind of the biggest thing we need in these cases. Because there is no cell phone records in 1983. There's no surveillance video in 1983.
Oh, by the way, guess who else is back in the news? Can't get rid of her either. Mischief Business is back in the news. It's amazing. Just these people just never go away. You just can't get rid of these people.
It's really word of mouth from the community to give us that information.
Absolutely. Detectives Andrew Houghton and Matthew Vartanian from the Elgin, Illinois Police Department. Excellent work, and thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Candy M, let me know if you want a wrench. If you have a channel, Yeah, Dirty Diana is awesome. She's got a great channel. Very, very entertainment for sure. What else am I going to do at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning? Like nothing to. But that's great stuff there.
Thanks for watching. Go to
All right,
join.
so that's the end of that. I just wanted to, get these guys some credit because they did help assist in this case here. 42 years, it's pretty good. Yeah, did you see that? That was freaking amazing. They had like 5 guys on her. I'll play it in a little while. It's she just won't go away. We were talking crap for like 5 hours last night. I know that. It's last night to you, but it's very, very early morning for me. I'm like a vampire. Once the sun starts to come up, I need to go find my coffin because I start burning. It's all right. So let's. I do want to play this here too. This is. I don't know if people have been following this at all. This was a day ago. This is the beloved Doctor faces Cliff romantic getaway. This whole thing for her 36th birthday. Ariela Koenig joins her husband Gerhard on a surprise hiking trip in Hawaii, meant to rekindle their strained marriage, but the romantic getaway turns violent when Gerhard allegedly attacks Ariel and attempts to unalive her on a cliffside trail. So this is another one of those supposedly good doctors here. So let me play this here. Hold on a second here. All right. I don't know what's going on with the internet tonight. It's very slow. I think Gazelle has been covering this too.
From Pennsylvania to Maui, anesthesiologist Dr. Gerhard Koenig plans a romantic birthday getaway for his wife on the rocky cliffs of Oahu, Hawaii.
Facing death.
Didn't she beat up her first lawyer too? Like she attacked her first lawyer. Like you have no channel. Okay. Well, like I said, if anybody wants a wrench, just let me know. Honeybee's going to sleep already. Good night, Honeybee. It's good to see you always. Hope you get some sleep. Stay safe. Honeybee's awesome. Honeybee's amazing. Good person. Great person. Hey, Alicia Business. Yes, she's like I said, her, Alex Murdaugh. I mean, all of these people, they just never go away. You always hear about them. It's just Karen Reed's another one. Just these people just never go away.
Cliff on a romantic getaway. Can you imagine the terror she felt?
I mean, the only like the best news about Karen Reed was like it drum up like a lot of different cases that were kind of falling by the wayside. So that is one good thing about that case. But you just never stop hearing about it. Just never goes away.
Must have coursed through her body, looking down at that great height on a very narrow trail. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know now. But who are these people? Listen.
Gerhard Koenig.
How old is she now? How old do you think Nancy Grace is now? She looks the same now she did, so there's got to be some makeup going on there.
An anesthesiologist and professor at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, falls head over heels for nuclear power plant project engineer Ariel. Despite their 10-year age gap, Gerhard and Ariel are married in 2018, have their first baby boy in 2020, and another 2 years later. In 2023, the couple decides to follow one of Gerhard's dreams and move from Pennsylvania to Maui, Hawaii. Gerhard becomes a partner at the Anesthesia Medical Group and frequently works at Maui Memorial Medical Center, while Ariel retains her job at TerraPower.
Again, joining us an all-star panel to make sense of what we're learning. What happened on that narrow path on the drop of a sheer cliff's edge? Straight out to special guest joining me, 4-time Emmy Award-winning anchor, investigative reporter at Hawaii News Now. Joining us, Mahealani Richardson. Mahealani, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, tell me about this cliff, the sheer drop. My husband is afraid of heights. He can't even look down. He can't ride a Ferris wheel. Nothing. So tell me about this location.
Well, this location is off the Pali Lookout. It is one of the most popular destinations on the island of Oahu, besides Diamond Head. And the reason being is on the island of Oahu, it is just 15 minutes away from downtown Honolulu. So the trail that they went on is up the Palipuka Trail. It is an off-limits trail.
Look at this place.
The state of Hawaii does not sanction people to go there, but it is still popular. And you can see those cliffs. It has a wide sweeping view of Windward Oahu. And when people go up this very narrow, very dangerous trail, at the top of it is a hole. It is 6 feet wide, and people can see through the mountain like a window to Windward Oahu. And that's why so many people like to go there.
Dr. Bethany Marshall joining us, high-profile psychoanalyst out of LA, author of Deal Breaker. And you can see her now on Peacock. She's at drbethanymarshall.com. Thrill seekers.
I wonder who threw this jacket on her. Like, that's got to be the worst color ever, in my opinion. Like, this color is just not. I mean, maybe going with these, you think? But this is just a bad, I don't know, this color here.
Why did they do it? But let me just say, the wife did not want to do this. She did not want to go on that narrow trail. But what is it about thrill seekers? You know, Dr. Bethany Marshall, you and I talked about this when it happened. We took the children to Gatorland to see Old Florida. My son wanted to zip cord across very high up.
You guys are so awesome. I love watching the chat. This is just the Pee-wee's Playhouse. I try to keep up with the chat, but you guys are just actually happened to a friend deer hunting, motorhome rolled down the street. It's Christmas again.
Up across a big lake full of gators. I mean, my head, it was going off like one of those arcade games. No, I didn't let him. And it's very hard for me to say no to John David. But the thrill, why do people want that thrill?
You know, Nancy, there's a drive that we actually share in common with all mammals, and it's kind of like a foraging drive. It's like when you want to go out, explore the world, have adventures, learn new and amazing things. And it's something that we all have. And some people are just able to switch that switch on and enjoy it and explore the world. But in this case, I look at this as a beautiful.
Didn't he just die? Didn't Pee Wee Herman die? You're drunk as fuck. We missed you this morning, Tina.
Beautiful setting. But gosh, I would be really careful on a trail like that, especially since the public is not even supposed to go there.
Dr. Bethany, there is a big difference.
They are supposed to go there if you want to get rid of your wife. That's what this guy did.
And me wanting to take the twins to see new and different things like Yosemite, the Arch in St. Louis, the Lewis and Clark Trail, the great confluence of the mighty Mississippi and the muddy Missouri, and risking your life. Risking your life. I mean, you just heard Maylani Richardson state that this is off limits, that the government, the state, does not sanction anybody going on this trail. And here she ends up facing death on that narrow trail. Is exactly what they said don't do.
But Nancy, now you're going to get me on my favorite topic, which is sociopathy. And if this alleged crime is true, I don't know completely what happened on that trail, is that people who fall into this personality disorder have a lot of inner emptiness and boredom. So they seek out stimulating activities. They like to break the law. They like to have heights. They won't just ski down a mountain. They will helicopter ski. They'll jump out of a helicopter. So the more that they can push the limits, the more alive they feel. So I'm curious about this population who's actually trespassing and breaking the law and hiking in this particular spot. I wouldn't want to go there. And if I were the wife, I'd be quite suspicious of, somebody who has a medical license but is actually trespassing on public property.
I've got a very strong feeling. Philip Dubé joining me, high profile defense attorney joining us out of the California jurisdiction. Philip Dubé, I don't think the beloved doctor dragged his wife up the side of that mountain in Hawaii just for thrills. So, how can you look at a jury and say, he was just adventurous? BS. I can't wait to hear this.
I'm not aware of any evidence that he took her off the trail. This is a very heavily foot trafficked area where there are witnesses galore. You cannot believe how many people from all over the world are at the new Uanu-Pali lookout point. And it's not there just to craft a place to commit the perfect homicide, but rather it's a panoramic viewpoint that is available on every
Please
exotic.
put him up. I cannot believe Dubé just managed to work in.
Hey, it's Charles. Charles is in here. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Didn't you just do a live? For who? This guy? In case, is there a tornado in Texas right now that we should know about? Phoebe was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. God, he got around. Yeah, you got a wrench.
Into the Senate's panoramic viewpoint. I agree with you. I don't think he dragged his wife up there to take her off the trail. I think he dragged her up there to throw her off the trail. I mean, can you look at me, Dubé, with a straight face and argue that was not his intent? She didn't want to go up there. She didn't want to take the trail. She tried to hang on to a tree, for Pete's sake, according to what we have learned. But no, he insisted on a selfie at the sheer drop at the edge of the path on a cliff up there in the clouds. Philip Dubé, she didn't want to go.
Yeah, but somehow she managed to get up there. I sincerely doubt that they're going to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was holding her by the collar, by the back of the neck, and just dragging her all the way up. I don't know how many thousands of feet just so he could knock her off Diamond Head there. It's ridiculous. I think that when the jury has the opportunity to flesh out the facts, they're going to see that this is poetry in motion and that he's not an octopus.
Whoa, did you just call this poetry in motion? Did he say that? Okay. You did say this is poetry in motion. Then how in the hay does she get her head totally bashed in? This is a yes, no. Did you just call this poetry in motion?
Yes, with a capital Y.
Again, joining me in all-star panel, let me go straight out to Bill Hernandez, domestic violence, sex assault detective, California. Never a lack of business in that jurisdiction. Bill, thank you for being with us. You know, very often, Bill, in situations like this, we see the wife going along with all the husband's harebrained ideas to placate the husband.
The only thing that I don't like about her really is that she kind of, she covers a lot of good cases, but she kind of makes it seem like this is just all drama. This is not a good thing here. She makes it seem like it's just, almost like a comedy.
Right. This is an example, a true example I've given many, many times. This is not from court when I prosecuted felonies. This is from volunteer work at the Battered Women's Center. I had a very well connected.
Okay, Candy needs a wrench. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Thank you, Dandy.
Executive, a corporate executive, call home to his battered wife. She was also the perfect wife, and tell her he was bringing people home to make Mexican food. She made tacos. He beat her into a coma because she didn't make enchiladas. This woman would jump through hoops, whatever the husband wanted to avoid a beating, to placate him, whatever the demand or the request might be.
All right, let me know if that worked. I think I gave. Oh, you were supposed to go live, but your new researcher's on, so we had to go through a lot. Okay. She came to Delphi for 5 minutes. Oh, Nancy Grace? I didn't know that. She went to Idaho too. That was a mistake. So I think I just gave Candy M a wrench. Let me know if that worked. Her interview again. Yep, it worked because I see you got a wrench here. Is that the guy, Brooks Hawk? Is that the guy in the what the hell's the name of that case now? The interview? That interview? What the hell's I forget her name now.
Just in order to keep the peace. They had children.
Wasn't he the guy that was in that interrogation room? Crystal Rogers. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I can't believe I forgot her name. He's a piece of shit. That guy. My opinion, anyways. Just you want to watch a good interrogation, go watch that one. That was a good one.
She didn't want the children to see this. She didn't want the children to know what was going on. He would take the phones out of the cord, out of the wall very often when he would leave for work. And this was a very educated woman, much like the victim in this case, Bill Hernandez. So when the husband takes her for a romantic getaway, this wealthy doctor, and insists they go on this trail together on the special day, that day, of course she went along. She didn't want to cause a scene, a problem.
Yeah, that case, Crystal Rogers case is just, I don't know what everybody's waiting for. More dirty cops, yep. So the chickens are vegetarian. Such a classic. You can deep fry your finger and it'll taste good.
Have you ever seen that happen, Bill?
Oh my God.
Absolutely. It's all about coercive control and power and control in that type of relationship. And quite often I see this on a daily basis.
You know, she just got involved with the wrong person here, right?
Whenever I'm doing my investigations, is all this power and control that these people exert over their spouses. And the spouses want to really make the home safe and calm and comfortable, but yet, they've got to do.
I might try to get caught up on that again next week because I've been following that for trial for one suspect in May and Brooks and the other guy trial in June. We'll have to cover that because I've been following that forever. It's just a sad thing. My poor father, just trying to predict, find information about it, get answers for his daughter, and he just gets shot. Just annoying. It's just these people just need to go away.
All these things in order to make this other person happy, which is seemingly never able to happen.
You're right, Bill. It's never enough. It never makes the spouse happy, the partner. It's a circle. It's a circle. You have.
When you work for these, big, huge conglomerate media companies here, you kind of have to be a little sensational. I don't think Nancy Kiss. Yeah, right. She doesn't. Shit, I was on Top Chat again. I don't even know what Top Chat is. I'm usually in live chat. Is that what you're supposed to? I don't know. Charles, Dirty Diana, subscribe to you. See what I do for you, buddy?
The blow up where the beating or the abuse occurs. It could be sex abuse. It could be a marital. It could just be a regular old-fashioned beating. Then there is the honeymoon phase where the attacker tries to make up, tries to assume normalcy. It's called the sweetheart phase. Then tension begins building. building. There could be verbal assaults, a brooding, a palpable anger in the air until the blow up and the next attack. And then it happens over and over and over. Very complicated. Now,
Andy's from Kentucky. Do you have a Kentucky accent? We're boycotting everything American up here in Canada. We should boycott the shit out of the pine fires up there. Tell me about it. My mom just was called telling me to boycott Walmart and Target. I was like, no, sorry, hell no. They have Walmarts and Targets in Oregon. Is that where you are? You're Oregon? I bet you'll see Gray Hughes there in Target. Teacher and daughter.
You know what's interesting? Straight back out to Mahealani Richardson joining us from Hawaii News Now. Mahealani,
it's so good to see Dandy in here. Dandy's amazing. Walmart's in every town up here too.
Victim was called the perfect wife. Beautiful, a great mother, and just the icing on the cake, isn't she a nuclear engineer?
Yes, highly educated, Nancy. And that's why domestic violence experts are saying that this really defies stereotypes. That's what they've told me in interviews. Highly educated, both of them. Their friends have told Hawaii News Now that they were completely shocked by this incident and to see this blow up on the news because
as far as I'm concerned, there isn't anything better than a Kentucky accent. Kentucky accents are just amazing. Boycotting electricity soon.
because what they had seen, and especially their housekeeper who had just seen them the week before, she said that Dr. Koenig was pleasant, he was respectful, he was quiet. She thought that he was that way because he's a very busy doctor. And Ariel, a sweet.
They should boycott hockey pucks. Everybody would go nuts. You love Boston accents? Like Ruckus? Don't you have who has a Boston accent? Yeah, smart people. I don't know where this stuff is coming from.
Woman, a lovely woman. They were both very gentle and kind to the kids. So what it seemed to be a perfect family. And that's why people cannot believe that this happened.
The Brian Walsh case should be coming up fairly soon too, I would think. Is that a Flyers flag there?
Another thing, to the outside world, they appear to be a perfect couple. And all of the friends, their inner circle, actually said that they weren't just happy, but that he outwardly doted upon her.
No, Ruckus is definitely an Irish, Boston Irish person. That's for sure. I've dealt with them before. Is woman from Boston?
What does that mean, Mahealani?
The domestic violence experts that we've talked to had said this is why this is so unbelievable, because people have images and thoughts about doctors. They take an oath to do no harm. And so that's why it defies all expectations. And as for Ariel, again, she is a highly educated woman. We know that she fought back during this incident. She refused to be.
Gerard has been charged in Koenig's case, but remains innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. There you go.
Pushed off this cliff.
All right, so that's the end of that. I just wanted to cover that. I'll keep an eye on that too. Part of the reason why I'm here is the true crime freaking community is because of this. I heard Brian Walsh's trial is coming up. Yeah, they pushed it off, but that's right. I thought you were from Wisconsin. Yes, just yep. That'll be a good case right there. All right, what are we doing? Let's go to a ship business here. Hold on 1 second here while I switch screens. This is going to be yeah. You're talking about Walsh. All right, so this is going to be a little hysterical here. This is Miss Taylor Ship Business again, back in the news. I don't know what this hearing was about. Prison guard attack case. I don't know what this is all about here, but strapped to a chair appears to at a hearing via Zoom following an early outburst where she attempted to attack a defense attorney. So this lady here, Ship Business, is serving a life sentence for just completely annihilating this guy here. Shad Tyrion. He looked like Tyrion too. But here's this here, so this will be quite comical.
Mr. Business is now down in the jail. She's appearing by Zoom in the jail. The last time we report, there was a commotion. She yelled, stood up. She was then physically detained, moved out of the court, and moved down to.
Jenny's here. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. It's not Oregon, it's Oregon. It doesn't come to the poor folks' side. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. He has something about against chickens. It's good to see you, buddy. We just went over the flooding in Tennessee there. Yeah, me too. It's Oregon. Gray pubes is a trespasser. Do you remember that time that he left his microphone on? You could tell that he was basically causing domestic abuse to his wife. Remember that? That was freaking classic. He keeps her locked in a cage, pretty sure. Something about chickens. He doesn't like chickens. They mess with his yard. Oregon. All right, now let's go to the Taylor Ship Business ship. This judge here is.
Jail. It appeared, I didn't see exactly what happened with it. She tried to get at it. And so the court does now find that Ms. Business is way too right to be.
Can anybody hear that?
Are we prepared to proceed with it?
Yes, you are.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to withdraw at this point in time. Your request is denied. For this hearing, State versus Case 175 was the second one. We can continue for this hearing, and then you can withdraw for that. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state does call Detective Milan.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in this matter before the court is truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Oh, hold on a second. I think I got the wrong one. Hold on a second. This is the one here. No, I don't think so. I didn't see that one. I don't know why, but that's such a pet peeve when people say that. I'm just going to say, oh. I don't think anybody likes that guy. Did you see the video where Gray Hughes got chased off a property in Moscow? Because he almost got chased out of Delphi, too. The good news is nobody in this channel likes that guy. I mean, I don't not like him. I just don't watch it. It's just he's an idiot.
All right, the court will call 24 CF 1048 State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Shabusiness appearances.
Gordon Leach for the state.
Taylor Shabusiness is personally present. She is in custody with attorney Curtis Jelka.
All right, this matter is set for a preliminary hearing today. Mr. Jelka, what's the status?
Your Honor, my understanding is we are proceeding.
All right, Mr. Leach.
Your Honor, I'm just checking in on the status of my officer. I expected her to be here, so, but I'm also having connectivity problems here. I might need to run upstairs and see if she may be upstairs. If I can have them.
Sure.
And Judge, it sounds like just one witness. We're asking for a sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
We're off the record.
God, I gotta stop. It's just, sorry, that was a little loud, but oh, I gotta play this again. This is almost as funny as oh my.
All right, the court will call 24 CF 1048 State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Shabusiness appearances.
Gordon Leach for the state.
Taylor Shabusiness is personally present. She is in custody with attorney
They were on her in like a split second.
Curtis Jelka.
All right, this matter is set for a preliminary hearing today. Mr. Jelka, what's the status?
Your Honor, my understanding is we are proceeding.
All right, Mr. Leach.
Your Honor, I'm just checking in on the status of my officer. I expected her to be here, so, but I'm also having connectivity problems here. I might need to run upstairs and see if she may be upstairs.
I should, let's do that. We could do that, can't we? We can kind of slow this down. Let's do that.
If I can have them.
Sure.
And Judge, it sounds like just one witness. We're asking for a sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
Because she did. She looked at the. Oh my God, it's so freaking funny. It's just so. She's just an actress, really bad actress. Just to look at how quick it's like seconds, not even a second. Just I just can't I can't do it. It's just it's just sad. It's just I don't know what she said. I still to this day I don't know what she said. But this guy here is like
We're off the record.
She did though, because somebody said that she looked at the camera first before she attacked this guy, but she did. Let me go back to the regular speed here. Whoop. They got like 5 guys on her. And a female cop too. So they got hold on, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. They're subduing her here. I think that might be it from that. Yep, I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so that's that. I just wanted to show people that, but that doesn't. Hold on a second. I want to go to this here, but I want to play one more things. I mean, they were on her like Doodlebug is here. Hey, Doodlebug, good to see you. I didn't see you come in. Sorry. Hey, Jenny, let me know if you want a wrench? I think I asked you that before, but I think you said no. I do want to play this here. Hold on, I want to play this. Oh, I don't play this. Hold on, I want to play this one here because I haven't played this in a while. This guy here. This is the funniest freaking thing ever. Hold on, I want to play this. Hold on, I want to play this because I need to laugh. This is just freaking Doodlebug. Okay, yes, I'll give you one. On a second. This is the funniest thing ever right here. This is just every time I see this, they should play this everywhere. This is gotta be the funniest thing ever. This guy just literally freaks the fuck out. All right, ready? Here we go. This is look at this guy.
Room.
Every time I see this, I just laugh my freaking ass. This is so funny.
Chaos erupting moments after what
I shouldn't be laughing, but this is just so funny.
appeared to be a calm sentencing. Deober
Look at how calm he is here.
Redden, a repeat offender, had pleaded guilty to attempted battery with substantial bodily harm, but argued to Judge Mary Kay Hothus he did
What he says before that, too, because he's like, "Go fuck that bitch."
not deserve another trip to prison.
I feel like I should be given a shot because I'm in a better place than I was.
The judge reminded Redden of his lengthy criminal record.
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs. Got a lot going on, sir.
Still, he asked for leniency.
I feel that I shouldn't be sent to prison for a second time.
But the judge denied his request for probation.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Moments later, Redden leapt.
Fuck it, I can't do it. That is just too. That's okay. So your actions say otherwise. That's. Oh my god, that's the funniest thing ever. It really is. All right, back to regular programming. I had to play that because that's. I needed to laugh today. All right, that is just. She wasn't having any of that, and either was he. All right, let's go to this for a couple seconds because I just saw this actually. This is 3 days ago, and I don't like to go too much into this here, but this has a little bit to do with this whole Sandra Birchmore case too here, the cover-ups and stuff like this here, but the conspiracy theories. This is not going to be good for people who hold on a second. All right, so let's play this here.
Because he is a retired FBI agent and he is founder of Sierra One Consulting. Why does that matter? Because Sandra Birchmore's supporters asked him to help as they tried to get it reclassified from a suicide to a murder. And as we all know, it has been. Rob, thanks for coming on. I couldn't.
I mean, he literally left. That's got to be. I mean, he cleared the whole bench. Like that's, and he took her out too. That was. I can't do it. I can't. Oh.
Wait to talk to you about this 200 plus page audit. What do you make of the fact that there's nothing to see here in 2 or 3 cases where there seems to be a lot to see here?
So this is This is the case I'm more interested in here, the Birchmore case, the Sandra Birchmore case. But this whole section of people here that are getting really put through the ringer here from this one cop, right? In Canton, Massachusetts. And if you want corruption, Massachusetts is the place to find it.
Oh my goodness. I think you have
You're on mute, buddy.
committed the mortal sin of not unmuting. And I do it all the time. So I will not fault you, but I will get you to unmute as quickly as possible.
Can you
And
hear
start
me
again.
now?
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, so I think it's like you feel just empty. You feel like this is a vanilla, washed over audit that's going to come out. There's a couple things with it. An audit's not an investigation. If you go in and you have no police powers in that, you can, you're investigating if there's a conspiracy, and you ask, well, is there a conspiracy? How many police officers do you think are going to openly talk about that? It's not going to happen. I think the resourcefulness is one thing, but like really a leaf blower at a crime scene, I can think of about 10 different ways to process that crime scene. And it's one of those things that you come back with, this is all your recommendations in these cases that are so bad. And again, Karen Read, the conspiracy thing needs to be investigated by a police department that has police powers.
So this case here, the Sandra Birchmore case, is definitely a cover-up going on there because, in my opinion, if it wasn't for this Karen Read case going on here, this case here would have never seen the light of day. But since everybody was out here picketing and, basically stomping on the courtyard grounds there to get some attention to the Birchmore case here, this would have never happened. So there is that here for sure. And this guy, John O'Keefe over here. A lot, nobody wants to admit it, but it's true.
Powers that when you put them under oath, that they have to tell the truth or they're lying to another police officer. So I think that's an issue. And with Sandra's case, I mean, it is another police department. When you really look at the heinous part of that, 3 police officers sexually assaulted her, passed her around, and then the crime scene that you talked about, though, that was Canton. And again, you look at a crime scene like that, and it wasn't properly documented. And you walked in, and
these three pieces of absolute living dog shit, Matthew Farwell, William Farwell, and Robert Devine, they all, especially this guy here, but I wouldn't, these other 2 guys are just as bad, right? Just as bad. This would have never, ever seen any traction here if it wasn't for the Karen Read case, because they were out there almost every single day in front of the cameras with the Sandra Birchmore signs, and finally, the state FBI did something about it.
And if you really thought that was a suicide,
but they were literally trying to cover this. There's no doubt in my mind they were trying to cover this up. No doubt.
Like, come on, are you kidding me? Type of thing. Like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I could have, without any forensic training, I could have easily at that crime scene seen the evidence that would have said, no, I think we've got a few more questions here than what might seem. First of all, she was hanging from a door handle, not even hanging. And I think.
Yeah, I did. I've seen it first. I've seen it myself. I mean, I basically grew up in Massachusetts, so I know it's I mean, at one time, a good 10% of the police force was basically working for the mob. I mean, it's true.
I think her hyoid bone wasn't broken, which I think the medical examiner needs to give his head a shake. But let me ask you this quick question about Five Stones Intelligence. I read the bio, the one-line bio, a Judeo-Christian principled intelligence agency and professional services firm. Look, I go to church. I'm not anti-religion, but what the heck is a Judeo-Christian principled? Shouldn't it just be an intelligence agency and professional services firm? Like, this already makes me suspect.
It is. They were involved in some things I was in before in horse racing. I found their practices sloppy and the way that they're like trying to do things was not on the up and up. A couple things that like it just questions me, like who. Well, they are hired by the city, and it almost like when you read the intro of oh they're so cooperative and we appreciate their help. Well, you got to put that out there. So I'm kind of I think their credibility goes back to when you look at the cases and this is what they come out with. I think that hurts their credibility in the long run. Like you said, do you really trust them now when you look at a case like Karen Reed and you come out with a few recommendations and some of them are really basic? I mean, if they don't know how to process a crime scene and they're detectives, I think that goes to a further thing than just a couple policy changes.
Yeah, I guess I call myself or consider myself a Judeo-Christian, but I do not call this show Banfield the Judeo-Christian crime show because it doesn't play in to the quality or the content as this shouldn't either. So I just get a weird feeling about that. Rob D'Amico, always good to have you. Thanks for doing this tonight.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your.
Yeah, the whole Sandra Birchmore case is stuff makes me angry, because it just goes on and on and on and on. Nobody does anything about it. I've got this for this year's Jar Summer. Are you not feeling good again, Heather? Yes. Twin douchebags, absolutely. And she went there for training to, it's just, that stuff makes me very angry. And they all should be worst possible punishment, in my opinion. Make a guy prove his height before the date. Dating is not recommended. All right, so this is what I'm going to do now. I want to go to this here because this came out a few days ago here, and I wanted to do this here. Hold on a second here. I'm okay, just a little sickly, but not dead yet. Well, that's good. Yeah, everybody's sick here again in the house, so it's been a bad year for people and sicknesses here. All right, so this happened too. I wanted to play this. Battle Creek family holds hope as search for missing soldier continues in Lithuania. So the family of a U.S. soldier from Battle Creek is speaking out as the search for continues following a training mission that went awry in Lithuania. So this is not good. There it is here.
We offer our deepest sympathy to the soldiers' families, friends, and the 1st Armored Division.
Well, tonight, a Battle Creek family is talking as the search continues for their loved one. Troy Smith Knudsen Collins is a U.S. soldier who's been missing since a training mission went wrong in Lithuania. 3 of his fellow servicemen were found dead inside of the vehicle they were training in. But the soldier's family tells us Collins was not found inside with them. And tonight, they're hopeful he's still alive. News Channel 3's Abigail Taylor is live in studio tonight. Abigail, first of all, where does the search stand tonight?
Yeah, Tyler, the family tells me that rescue crews have not given up. They tell families that they will not
This was done a couple days ago. 4 days ago. So I wonder if they found this guy yet. Does anybody know?
give up until they're able to bring this soldier home one way or another. A local family says he's a son, brother, and father.
The biggest heart in the world, give you the shirt off his back.
U.S. soldier Troy Smith Knudsen Collins, now part of a multi-nation search.
We're thinking about those soldiers and their families.
Lost during a U.S. Army training mission in Lithuania, the bodies of 3 of the 4 U.S. Army 3rd Infantry Division troops now found. But this Battle Creek native is still out there, according to his family.
It's not a dead end, it's a what now, and the more eyes that we get on it, the more people that start considering that he's still alive.
So this was, what they're saying, it was an accident.
Missing in action.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, MIA. Them 3 letters are huge when you look at this.
Father Robert Collins says his mind is racing as crews search for his son.
Is he 50 feet from there? Was he under it? You know, did he get underneath it? Is he stuck there? And is he captured?
He says many questions remain after one was answered. Smith
Bad.
Knudsen Collins wasn't inside the armored vehicle pulled by crews from 15 feet of water.
A father will never believe that anybody can do as much as he can, even though they probably can, but without a doubt, a father
Probably digging up a whole bunch of bodies here. Got to watch out for landmines here too.
cannot let that settle in his mind.
The search continues here in the eastern part of Lithuania near
I mean, they went back and forth here a few times.
the border of Belarus, while family, friends, neighbors here in Battle Creek yearn for him to come home.
Family joined the military, but we look at it as the 5 kids, you know what I mean? Like, how do you tell a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old their dad's not coming home, you know?
A father missing and a father missing his son.
My heart aches, but it doesn't ache like the fact that he's not here. I don't see that. I don't feel it. I still want to be positive and hopeful that he's somewhere else, still alive.
That's awful.
The family of Smith Knudsen Collins tells me he's a skilled swimmer, so they believe he could have made it out. We will continue to follow this as search efforts for this missing soldier for John. Live in the studio, Abigail Taylor, News Channel 3.
All right, Abigail, we appreciate it. Thank you. New tonight, a man accused of killing his girlfriend's mother.
Every time I crave McDonald's, I remember the last time I went to McDonald's, and then I don't crave it anymore. So I'm gonna keep following this. I don't know if they found this guy yet or not. I don't know if there's this was 4 days ago. Oh, that just sucks. All right, so I just wanted to play that because I saw that. You made it out. That's good if you made it out. They didn't accidentally fall into it. The news here is bunk. Yeah, for sure. All right, so what was I going to do? I wanted to do something else here. That was 6 days ago. I don't know if I want to play that one because, anyways, all right. So let me stop this, and I'll go back to what I was doing before. Hold on a second. I do want to play the. I'll just look it up here. The Ashley Degree stuff. All right, so I posted this on my community page. They were out searching again, new property here in the Ashley Degree case, and I'm pretty sure that this case is going to be. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to say it's going to be solved, but it's looking pretty good. So I'll play. There's a whole bunch of these. Let me play this one here first. So I don't know if everybody knows about this case here, the Ashley Degree case. We've gone over it numerous times. I've been following this case forever. So this poor kid, investigators searched a property in Lincoln County on Friday related to the disappearance of Ashley Degree. Officials say no new warrants were issued in the case. But they're getting pretty close. So she went missing. She went out for a walk at like 2:00 in the morning, and nobody's ever seen her again. This is I believe this is North Carolina. So let's check this out. This is the Ashley Degree case here.
True Crime Podcast. What brings you out here today? We got a call from a friend of ours that let us know that there was something going on to do with the Ashley Degree case today, a search over here at Northbrook School. Do you know anything about the school, first of all? I don't know a lot about it. I know it's been kind of like this as long as I can remember.
You live in the area?
I live about 6 miles over in Falston.
And how did your friend know this might have been Bill Eschery?
He is a former law enforcement. He is a former detective in down in Gaston County.
So what have you been able to find out since you've been here today?
Not a lot of nothing. We just watched them walking around, seen the dogs out, and a lot of people in orange out searching the woods looking. But as far as getting any details, we haven't got a lot.
And you are a true crime podcaster. What's your interest in this case overall?
Well, since we live close right here in the area, it's really something, big on our hearts. And we've been kind of involved since day one. The day actually we were working in Shelby at the time, and driving down 18 and actually got stopped in the roadblock when they were first looking for her that morning. So we've pretty much been involved ever since day one. And now we didn't start the podcast till years later, of course, but that's one of our main subjects.
Now, when you hear that this may be Aisha Degree related, there's been a couple of things recently Aisha Degree related.
Does everybody know about this case, or do you want me to go into some sort of a background on this?
Does it give you hope, or do you just?
I hope you feel better, Heather. That's the problem with. Did you go to the doctors this week or something like that? Because if you go to the doctors, you're probably going to get sick. No, she's not alive. I don't think so, anyways.
Just think, well, here's just another maybe wild goose chase.
Anything is. So I mean, at least they're out here trying. They're out here looking. They're working the case. They're working the case hard. And
I knew as soon as they found the car over, I think that was the summer. It was the summer, late summer, early fall that this case was. Because initially in the beginning, first couple of years, I thought, maybe, you never know with essaying and those types of crimes and stuff like that. But as the years went on, I didn't hear anything. Then when they found the car, that was it. I'm pretty sure that this was an accident. I don't know why somebody would cover this up, but this was, my opinion, this was a, some sort of an accident. When you go to North Carolina, those parts, especially over here, those roads get pretty dark, and it was pretty miserable that night. So I don't know what she was doing out there at night, but it could have been that she was mistaken with the time, and she had gotten ready for school and was walking to school. But who knows?
They drop a little bit of information here and there, kind of keep everybody involved, let us know what's going on, and then sure they have to go back and go through all that information, and then you see this going on, so they're still working the case hard behind the scenes.
What do you hope comes out of today?
I hope they find something, or either find something, or they're either going to find it or they're not. But I don't know. I would love to see them find something, because I think the Degree family needs some answers. They've been through a lot. It's been 25 years.
Yeah, you go to the doctors here. First of all, they put you in a room for like an hour, and then they finally call you in to another room, put you in that room for an hour. They take your vitals and all of that stuff, and then they put you in another room for an hour. And so you probably passed 6 to 7 million germs at that time. Jenny's freaking hilarious. Oh, Dee, I forgot you're from Florida. A snowplow is a big old pickup truck. They got plows in Florida. They don't use them often. The math's not mathin'. Yeah, they can't plow the streets. It's bad for the frogs. Really? I'm pretty sure the owls can take care of those frogs that come out. I could never live with the guilt of ending another human. It's got to be immense. Yeah. What do you mean she wasn't hit by a car? Can't plow the streets because of tents. Yeah. Go back to this.
But to see them out here working on the ground and actually looking for stuff, hopefully they find something.
Now, does the size of the crew or the length of time they're out here mean anything?
Well, I mean, we're involved. There's several vehicles here, a lot of people on the ground. I don't know exactly how long they've been here. We got the call. We came straight over to see what was going on. And ever since we've been here, probably an hour or so.
You did the only interview with H Degree's brother.
Yeah, O'Brien. Yeah, he came on our show and we talked to him.
All right, so a lot of people are hopeful, but like we said, they could find something today. They might. All that the dents, the force there, it would be so challenging and try to get through all that. But Nate, you are finding maybe some potential discoveries here in the property.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the property from Google Street View right now. If Ben, I know you're trying to come and look into, and I don't know, Jeb, if you can pull that up.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
interesting.
site we're looking.
So hold on a second. I want to show this here. I can get rid of that now. Hold on a second. I got way too many windows open here, but I do want to show this here. So here's the car. That's the car there. This one here. But this is what the witness said she saw, kind of like a car like this, but this is pretty close. I mean, it's probably dark at night. She probably didn't really get a good look at it. And, these two cars here, I'm pretty sure there's not too many of these cars in that neighborhood. So this is the car that they took from people that have been pretty much suspect of doing this for a while. This was the car here. So once they took this car out, but I think that, it's a combination between the car and these texts that have come out the last few weeks or so. And then they're, doing another search here. I think that's pretty telling. But what do I know? Like I said, I don't want to jinx it. They're doing a good job with this here. All right, so let's go back to this. Hold on a second. Let's go here. We'll play a few of these because I've been following this forever.
In the video, I believe, the second building. Yep. And it looks like at one point maybe the Board of Education owned these buildings, perhaps before the Deadmans. And as you go back, I mean, it's just been mostly untouched over the years. I'm looking at like May 2012. It's just buildings, trees coming out of these buildings, vines growing on it. I see a pile of dirt in one spot, but then over time it just continues to grow. Look at how overgrown that is right now. And we have our crew out there. I'm sure it looks very much like this right now.
You can see the passage of time over the past 15 years. So, I mean, that shows you this has been, take the investigation out of this. This has been a largely untouched property by anyone. We can make that assumption just by looking at that.
And imagine how challenging that makes it. I mean, you have trees that weren't as tall as they were back then. You have weeds growing up. We haven't seen any dog or anything out there, but I don't know at this point, this far removed, if that even would be a viable option.
That sort of
makes sense to have.
Yeah, from if they're going to be able to pick up on any sort of lead that's that specific.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing from the podcaster, Jane. There's such a renewed interest in America right now when it comes to these cold cases.
All right, so I'm going to jump off of this. I don't know what's going on here with this thing here, but we're going to go.
Authorities and crews are no longer out there. So let's walk back through the scene. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the timeline, and we want to. We've been covering the story throughout the years, and we want to play you sort of those stories throughout the years to catch you up and give you some perspective on where we are now. So let's start February 14th.
Yeah, I can't reiterate. Like, I don't know if anybody's been to the Carolinas, especially out in Western Carolina. At nighttime there, and I think that's the same thing with the what was the kid's name that got hit out there? The Alex Murdaugh. What was his name now? I forget his name. Mr. Steve went out there to kind of investigate that, but that was the same type of thing. walking on a road like that in the Carolinas at night, you don't understand how dark it is. It's really, and I don't know why it's like that there. It's just, if you're out there walking at night, and especially if it's raining, you can't see a freaking thing. The roads are narrow. It's just, maybe it's because of the trees. I mean, the trees are just not all that tall, maybe, but it's pretty easy to not see something. So now I don't know why the family would have covered this up, but I think that's what they're trying to. I think that's what they're trying to get to at this point.
2000, Aisha Degree disappears. Investigators say Degree disappeared from her bedroom in the middle of the night on Valentine's Day, sometime between 2:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. There was no sign of forced entry and no promise.
Yeah, the thing is there was a power outage there, and I'm wondering if that messed with the clocks, maybe, and people didn't actually really know what time it was. So maybe she was on her way to school. I think it was time to go to school. The other rumor was that she was supposed to stay over a friend's house that night, and they wouldn't let her go to the friend's house. So she might have just tried to sneak out of the house to go to her friend's house. Who knows? But I don't think that really matters too much. I think it was just she was out on those roads there, and she just got hit.
Scent trail for search dogs to follow. At least 2 people claim to see the young girl walking along NC Highway 18 around 4 a.m. One person actually told authorities when they turned around.
You ain't kidding. Reflective vests. I've been saying that these people these days, they go out, have these, I don't know if you've seen them, these walkers, they go out, they have these huge, they're like the doctor's lights that they go out with. They wear them on their head. And those are worse than anything, that because they blind you. And now Stephen Smith, that's right. Stephen Smith, that's his name. Same kind of thing. But I agree with the reflective vest. That's a better, if you're going to walk at night, I don't know why you would walk at night. That's the way to do it. That thing super sad at a 43-year-old regular dad drank from it right in front of his family. Bunsen burn, I'm telling my kids that. Who was Steve Smith? Steve Smith was the kid that they reinvestigated the case because they said it was an accident at first, and now they're calling it. I'm pretty sure they've deemed it as a suspicious death, and it's so it was kind of connected a little bit to the Murdaugh case. Yeah, Buster's friend. Thank you, Tracy. But it's the same type of thing when you're out there on those North Carolina roads, especially in the western side, where all the hills are. It's freaking dark. I've been there.
Around to check on the person, the girl ran into the woods and wasn't seen again. So fast forward more than a year later, August 2nd, 2001, Aisha's book bag was found. Construction workers found Aisha's book bag and a few other items off Highway 18 in Burke County, about 25 miles north of Shelby. Now, the bag was,
in my opinion, that was they found the bag because it was a staged thing. That's just my opinion.
Is wrapped in 2 trash bags. The worker who found it said the backpack had Aisha's name and phone number on it. So again, over the years, we have covered this story from search parties to marches to memorials to vigils, and the overall theme of this is closure for the family and the community there. We want to.
I just don't know what they would charge her with. I don't know if there's a statute of limitation. What would it be? Vehicular homicide, right? It would be. If they're going to charge you with anything, it probably say it's just like for kicks and giggles, we'll say the daughter did it. She was out driving around and hit her, and then the family covered up. That would be vehicular homicide, right? And then maybe concealing a corpse or whatever. I don't know what they'd actually she'd probably end up, and she was a minor at the time, so I don't even think that they could give her much jail time, could they? I mean, I don't know what they would charge her with, and I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. The father, they could probably charge him with something, but I don't think he really did anything.
I'm going to run a story from 2015 from Aisha's parents. 2015, we covered that. So about 10 years ago, we spoke with Aisha's parents. Let's listen in.
It don't seem like it's been 15 years.
Harold and Aquila Degree wish they knew more.
She took this picture spring of 99.
Something, anything about the disappearance of their little girl Aisha, now coming up on its 15-year anniversary.
We still don't know no more than we did 15 years ago.
Like why Aisha left home in the middle of the night, February 14th, 2000.
Nobody still can give us any answers to that.
Where she was heading when a couple of drivers say they saw her walking on Highway 18 about a mile from home. Why some of her school supplies ended up in a nearby barn. And how her book bag ended up buried in the dirt nearly 20 miles from home, discovered by construction crews a year and a half after she disappeared.
That somebody had to pick her up in order for a book bag to be that far off the road.
In 15 years, no clear suspect named to the family. Nobody arrested or charged with a crime in her disappearance. The new picture from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children showing Aisha at 24 makes the family realize how much of her life they've missed if she's still alive, which is what the Degree family firmly believes.
And until somebody can prove to me otherwise, I'm still looking for a person.
The pain hasn't gone away. Time does not heal this wound.
This is worse than death. Because with death, you have closure. With this, there's no closure.
That's the thing. You're just going to feel bad for the family. And it's just these people, this cute little kid here just sucks.
Friday, the hope is any new information from investigators helps solve the mystery.
We know somebody knows something.
And hopefully talks. Tony Burbeck, NBC Charlotte.
All right, so that was from 2015.
Yeah, I definitely think the father probably had something to do with, you know, who knows? I really don't know. I'm just going by, you know, what's been in this case and what's been kind of going on lately. But it's just a sad thing.
That was Aisha's parents 10 years ago. So we want to pick back up on the timeline. So September 2017, detectives identify a possible suspect vehicle. Detectives receive information that Aisha Degree may have been seen getting into a dark green Lincoln or Ford Thunderbird. Now we want to play a couple of stories from 2017, but the first story is from 17 years later. It marked 17 years since Aisha had been missing back in 2017. So we want to get to that story. Let's listen to that story.
Hope is all I have.
On Saturday, family and
My
friends
faith is
gathered
not
for a
dead.
walk, taking the same steps that 9-year-old Aisha Degree took.
Faith is
Gathered
not
for a
dead.
walk.
See that road there? That's hold on a second.
Listening to that story.
Hope is all I have.
On Saturday,
See this road here at night, you can't see anything. It's just it's kind of like that in Florida too. Like if you go to like outside of Jacksonville, west of Jacksonville and stuff like that, down some of those because it does get quite hilly over there. Like if you're going from Jacksonville towards the western part of the state, there's hills in there and it can get really dark over there too. But it's pitch black here. You can't see anything at night, especially if it's raining.
family and
My
friends
faith is
gathered
not
for a
dead.
walk, taking the same steps that 9-year-old Aisha Degree took some 17 years ago.
Keep her name, to keep her on your mind.
The night Aisha vanished, a couple of drivers say they saw her walking on Highway 18 in Shelby, about a mile from her home. Her brother had told police he heard noises in the middle of the night, but assumed that Aisha had gone to the bathroom or simply having trouble sleeping. Later, some of Aisha's school supplies showed up in a nearby barn.
I think that you know, I like I said in the beginning, I think that they thought maybe she was a victim of you know, some sort of like kidnapping or you know, trafficking or something like that. But I don't think she's with us anymore. That's just my opinion. And I think it was some sort of an accident. Like she was probably out walking and somebody didn't see her. And they tried for some reason. And I don't know. I've been trying to debunk this and prove it in my head, why somebody would cover it up. Why don't you just go and call, say, look, I was sorry, I didn't see her, but some of the texts that are coming out between the daughter of one of the, the father of the suspect there, some of the texts are kind of telling, and I hope they bring it up here.
About a year and a half later, construction crews found her book bag buried nearly.
Because if you have a conscience, right? If you have a conscience and you're not psychotic, this stuff here will weigh heavily on you over the years, and eventually, some people just go absolutely bonkers. They just can't keep a secret forever. Especially if you have a conscience, you're probably gonna want to tell somebody. It's like it weighs on you. It's some secrets can't be hidden forever.
20 miles from a home along Highway 18. Over the years, there have been clues, and 17 years later, her parents still hold out hope that she will be found.
And I just refuse to let anybody.
Is it Deadman? Right? Deadman is the I think it's Deadman.
Take it away from me.
All right, so that's a story from search efforts, a march there that was held in 2017. We want to stay on 2017. Again, I want to, we were going through this timeline. So again, September 2017, detectives identify a possible suspect vehicle. Detectives received information that Aisha Degree may have been seen getting into a dark green Lincoln or Ford Thunderbird. So we want to get to another story from 2017. This story, it's not those search efforts. Again, 2017 marked 17 years roughly since Aisha.
I don't like the way this guy's saying this. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to try to bring people up to speed here. Hold on a second. Sometimes it's better if you read this stuff here. All right, okay. So records show the property being searched by investigators was once owned by a prominent figure in the Aisha Degree investigation. The Lincoln County property was searched Friday in connection with the disappearance of Aisha Degree, who was once owned by a prominent figure in the investigation. Record show. So that's strange. I might have to sneeze. The property located in the intersection of North Carolina Highway 274. I'm gonna copy this. Property located in the intersection of North Carolina Highway 274 and North Carolina 182 appears to be vacant, boarded up building near a fire department. According to deed records examined by this station, Nate Marabito, the property was once owned by Roy Lee Deadman and Connie. See, there you go. The parents of Lizzie Foster, whose cell phone was taken in the case. That's all they got the texts. So records show the Deadman sold the property in 2004 and has changed hands multiple times and is now reportedly owned by a bank. So that's what I wanted to know. The Deadmans first appeared in connection with Degree's disappearance last September. They've been kind of I don't want to say suspects, but people of interest for a while. So this is what happened in last September. They searched the property. That's when they took the car. Knock it off. They're a full moon tonight. The cats are going crazy here. The mayor called one party. Lizzie was sobbing and bawling while making several statements that she unalived Aisha. See, that's what I want to get to is those texts. But warrants revealed the vehicle seized from Cherryville Road, a 1964 Nash. Is that a Nash Rambler? I think was registered to. So it's all. This is all connected here. I think. All right. So let's go back to. Hold on. I'm sorry, not keeping up with the chat here. It could be that too. It could be a hate thing. I don't know. I just think it was a bad accident.
Had been missing. Let's take a listen into this story.
The team the FBI is sending here to Cleveland County from Washington, D.C. is specially trained to deal in cases involving missing children.
Today, I can stand before you and tell you that we've made progress.
Sheriff Alan Norman in the Charlotte FBI office asked the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, known as CARD, to come to Cleveland County. They believe the case of missing 9-year-old Aisha Degree can still be solved 17 years after she disappeared.
We have reason to believe that individuals in this community or the surrounding area have knowledge of or information pertaining.
You guys are freaking awesome. The chat is amazing. I try to keep up. I released a huge spider the other day. I hope that doesn't come back. I love spiders. Spiders are amazing.
To the disappearance of Aisha.
The FBI's CARD fresh look at what happened to Aisha, who was last seen by a number of drivers who saw her walking near her home in Shelby in the middle of the night.
People's perspectives, people remember things differently, so we're definitely conducting re-interviews of people that have been interviewed before.
There have been some leads in the case. Aisha's book bag was found buried a year after she disappeared. Recently, investigators got information the little girl was seen getting into either an early 1970s Lincoln or a Ford Thunderbird.
We strongly believe that someone has information that can lead us to Aisha.
The reward for information in this case now totals $45,000, and if you do call, you can remain anonymous. In Cleveland County, Brad Berkey, NBC Charlotte.
And that was a story that we covered on Search Efforts in 2017. So let's jump ahead on the timeline. More than a year later, October 9th, 2018, detectives offer some new clues. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office posts a video on social media asking about a library book and a concert t-shirt from a New Kids on the Block concert with a red collar. All right, so let's advance the timeline some more. So let's go to February 8th, 2020. The community gathers to remember Aisha 20 years after she disappeared. Again, 2020 marked 20 years since Aisha Degree had been missing. People gathered at Moles Memorial.
Is this the same number that's on the wall? Do you know that they got sued for that number? Apparently that was what I heard.
Baptist Church, and walked to the missing person sign where Aisha was last seen. Also in 2020, a new photo of Aisha Degree was released. Let's get to that story from 2020, February 15th, 2020. Let's take a listen to that.
This news conference was all about Aisha Degree, but it was also aimed at.
Yeah, I think they got sued though for that number because somebody had that number and whoever had that phone number got sued the band because they kept prank phone calling that number. I think I remember hearing that.
Someone else.
There's someone that'll hear this message. You're carrying the burden and you've carried it for 20 years. And I want you to contact me personally to relieve yourself of that burden, and let's bring Aisha home.
It's been a personal mission for Cleveland County Sheriff Alan Norman, who 20 years ago was a shift commander working the day Aisha was reported missing. Dubbed Cleveland County's sweetheart, she was last seen walking along Highway 18 outside Shelby. Investigators.
No, Dino is more sophisticated than that. He has an OnlyFans. A Miranda. Is that like a Miranda Wright? I would never pull a Miranda on anybody. Where is Miranda?
With the sheriff's office, the SBI and FBI continue to gather leads. 45.
Where's Charlotte? Charlotte's not there. She is. I just mentioned your name. I can't believe that's impossible. It's Charlotte. Charlotte's here. Oh, no, I didn't even know that was her phone number. Anyway, Charlotte's here. Charlotte's amazing. It's good to see you, Charlotte. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. You've had enough trouble with internet women. I hope you're well, Charlotte. Charlotte's an amazing person. Charlotte's it's always good to see Charlotte.
Tips just in the last year. And on this somber anniversary, investigators released an age-progressed photo of the 9-year-old on the verge of 30. FBI spokeswoman Shelley Lynch says the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children developed this photo with help from Aisha's mom.
She told us when we went and spoke to her during.
This case here was weird because it took on like a lot of true crime people in the beginning, like the early couple of years, and then you didn't hear anything until like last September, and then everything came out again.
In that interview, that Aisha looked more like her father's side of the family. That would give kind of more of an accurate picture of what she might look like today.
This new photo will be placed on billboards along major interstates across the region, including I-77 and I-85 in Charlotte for the next few weeks. They hope that someone who...
Are you starting your own channel, Mustang? If you are, let me know because we'll post it in here. Diana's amazing. Dirty Diana's amazing. Jenny's amazing. Heather Brown's amazing. I swear by elderberries and vitamin C. Whoops.
Knows those critical details will see this new photo and come forward, bringing closure to this case.
She went missing under my watch, and I want her brought home under my watch.
Anyone who may have any piece of information, no matter how small, is asked to call those phone numbers. Reporting in Cleveland County, Brandon Goldner, WCNC Charlotte.
And that was from 2020. Again, a new photo of Aisha Degree that was released February 15th, 2020. So let's go.
I'm pretty sure I would almost guarantee you Miranda's probably mad at me again. They just hype, man. That's too funny. You're on me. Heather's amazing. Dirty Diana's amazing. We're still trying to get Heather to get her own channel going too. Jocelyn's got a great channel too.
4 years.
I think it's Butterfly Kisses. I'm pretty sure.
From 2020, we're talking about 2024. So last May, May 24th, 2024, investigators.
All right, hold on a second. I thought he was going to get to the texts here quick, but let's do this one here. Investigators searched abandoned school. Did we play that one yet? No. Let's do this one here.
And right now at 6, we start by following those breaking updates in the more than 25-year search for Aisha Degree. Today, law enforcement spent the day combing through a link.
Yeah, where is SG tonight? She's probably hunkered down over there in Arkansas. They've been getting they've been getting some pretty good storms over there. I hope she's well though, but I could just guess that she's probably Southern Gal's an amazing person. She's got a great channel. She's just 100% big fan of Southern Gal. What do you think, Dirty? I've been in the field a lot of late. Nice to finally sit with a cup of tea. Yeah, it's good to see you, Charlotte. It's good to see that you're alive. Yeah, she is. She's over there in Arkansas, so I'm thinking about her, that's for sure. I don't think she had a live last night, but she did post something about the storm, so I'm hoping she's okay, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure she is. But the system that moved through the, that part of the country there, I'd say the Ohio River Valley there's gotten clobbered the last couple of days.
Lincoln County property connected to this case. Degree, you'll remember, with
I'll be starting up the weather stuff soon too, once it gets going. But I kind of leave the tornadoes to other people. I just try to cover the hurricanes. But if it gets too bad, I'll start to post stuff again.
was 9 years old when she went missing from her home in Shelby on Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining us, as we continue.
So Shelby to I want to North Carolina. Why can't I? I think I can do it this way. Hold on. Copy this. I can't. Yep, I can.
Continue to keep you updated on these breaking developments. I'm Vanessa Rufus. Now, our crews have been at this property all day as investigators are working to make a break in this case. So I want to start with WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker, who is breaking down what we know so far.
The mystery of what happened to 9-year-old Aisha Degree still at the top of mind and on the hearts of so many here.
Holy shit, I just found it just like that. Okay, hold on a second. I got this is it. Right here. This is where we are. This is where they were searching, right in here somewhere. Did they say it's this building right here? I'm pretty sure it's this property right here, but see these roads here? Like, they're very narrow. If you go down these roads here at night, especially if there's, trees on both sides, it might be the height of the trees too, because these trees, it's not like up here in New England where they're taller. So maybe that has something to do with the fact that it's just like, even right in here, you can see, how dark it is. But at night, you can't see anything. So if somebody's walking on the side of the road, you won't see them. And, they're very, very narrow, very, one car. That's all you're going to get on this. There's no shoulder. There's no nothing. But I'm pretty sure that's the property right in here somewhere. All right, let's go back to this here. Did I share that? All right.
North Carolina. That search jumping from Cleveland County over to Lincoln County Friday.
Yeah, that's the building right there. This is the, and then that was the main building there. That's the kind of, I want to say that's a garage here.
Morning as investigators from the SBI, FBI, and Lincoln County investigating this property off of Highway 724 here in Lincoln County. This is what we're looking at, though. This is a school that we're talking about, and this is where so many agents were here this morning searching the property thoroughly, trying to find anything related to Aisha Degree. Inside the buildings, also in the tree line area, we're not exactly sure what they're looking for, but this morning, a very active scene. Now, we have looked through property records, and it shows back before 2004, the owner of this property was Roy Deadman. Now, this name might sound familiar to you because back in September, WCNC.
Jenny's awesome. It's always good to see Jenny in here for sure. That was a classic, though, right there. Maybe we can start a campaign to buy the equipment to start your channel. Who, for Jenny? You told her you were worried about us. We are always worried about the Southern Gal. Southern Gal can take care of herself, though. She's pretty spry. You guys are awesome.
Charlotte and myself obtained court documents and warrants revealing investigators believe, quote, Aisha is a victim of homicide and her body was concealed. Now, DNA from a hair sample taken back in 2001 found in a bag in Burke County took investigators to the home of Roy and Connie Deadman. That same Deadman who owned this property as well. Now, at the home, investigators recovered a car similar in the make and model to the one sought out during the initial search back in 2000. Now, fast forward to late last month, we did get another update from investigators. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office says back in September, a man spoke with detectives saying when he was in his 20s, back in the 2000 time, he went to parties with Sarah and Lizzie Dedman. Now, these are the Dedmans. This is the daughters of the Dedmans, Roy and Connie. The man says he recalled a time where Lizzie was crying and made claims that she, quote, killed Aisha Degree. Investigators then obtained search warrants for Lizzie's phone, and the results, including several messages of interest linked to Lizzie and her sisters, leading us back to today. Now, we are unsure exactly what investigators found at this time, if they found anything at all, but we do know they were here in full force searching for something related to the missing girl, 9-year-old Aisha Degree. Now, our WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito did speak with the current owner of this property, and they asked if he knew anything about this. He said, what do you think they're here for? Insinuating this was for the Aisha Degree case, that missing 9-year-old out of Cleveland County back in 2000 on Valentine's Day. We also have reached back out to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office, and they say they will not be back out today for another search. But we have also reached out to the SBI and FBI to see if they will continue, and we do not know.
I don't think there is anything as 1965 comment. I don't think they made the comment in 65. They might have.
Know that right now, but we will keep you updated with what we learn more from here in Lincoln County. For now, in Lincoln County, Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
And our team coverage continues tonight. We know the search today certainly caught the attention of the community. It brought back some painful memories. It did ignite some hope for Degree's family that this could finally start to see a conclusion here, a resolution, some answers. WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson takes a look at their reaction.
Dozens of people driving by earlier today, stopping and asking, are they searching for Aisha Degree? As many people in this community say, seeing a law enforcement presence out here searching has reignited many emotions that they say they want answers to.
It's very surreal. It's emotional, you know, thinking that we may be one step closer to getting justice for Aisha and her family.
You know, I'd hate to know what they're going through, but I just hope and pray that, you know, that they will find her. And whoever knows what happened to her, just come clean and tell the truth.
Again, many people sending their thoughts and prayers to the Degree family as they are hoping that there will be answers and clarity soon. I'm Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
And we should mention that our team has been really hard at work all day long trying to find the latest developments as the day goes on. Live Impact News Stream here on WCNC Plus. You're looking at a clip from earlier today on this streaming program that we have. It's a brand new concept.
Geez, I hope they can find 25 years was a long time in the Carolinas. Like that's wow. If they could find any type of remains of her, that'd be amazing.
Where we are able to dive deeper into various insights, break new developments as soon as we get them, bring you live to the scene when we're not here on the air on television. So we wanted to let you know that this is a great resource to add to your favorite streaming device if you don't already have it.
I want to continue on I was going to do that tonight, but there were so many other things to cover. But I want to get back into the history of the Princes in the Tower. I want to do an episode on Marguerite Beaufort soon, so maybe Charlotte can help me out with that. But I do want to get back into that. Maybe take a break from the regular true crime shit.
Added. So this is available on all the places that you like to stream if you have Roku.
We left off at the Norman conquest, Norman invasion of England, Battle of Hastings.
A Fire TV, Apple TV, or if you have a smart television, please add WCNC Plus.
All right, so I do want to play one more. It's this one right here, I think.
Searching, and our our reporters. We have a team of reporters covering, including WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito, who's here in studio. But first, this morning we spoke with a cousin of.
So this is a cousin, Jacqueline Decree, the cousin of Ash. I think we heard from her father last fall. Not sure. Discusses the family dynamic and what she remembered the day before Aisha Degree. I know the whole family was interrogated quite a bit.
Aisha Degree over the phone. Here's that full interview, and she sort of lays it out.
Yes, Princess in the Tower. We did one episode. I don't know, a year or so ago. But and I've been kind of putting that off because all the other shit that's been going on. But I do want to get back into that. Wait, want to get back into what? Or are you going to tell us about Russia in the 1800s? I might do a Russia thing breakdown. I do know a little bit about English history too, and Russian history. Yeah, I mean, all signs point that Richard III did it, but you never know.
What happened?
I mean, you want to talk cover up and conspiracy? There you go.
And on Valentine's Day 2000, before Aisha went missing, and what happened in the family dynamics afterwards. Let's take a listen in.
That particular day, she was ushering, and I was sitting on the side that she was ushering for Macedonia. We all went to Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church, and so she was ushering that day, and it was the particular day she was ushering, and I was sitting on the side that she was ushering for Macedonia. We all went to Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church, and so she was ushering that day, and it was the February 14th, which is also her parents' anniversary as well. But we all at church and we fellowshipped, and it was just like a regular Sunday that we had. And that particular night, I just remember it was raining really, really bad.
Did she seem like she was happy?
I'm sorry?
Did she seem like she was happy?
The strange thing is there were three Richards, right? Richard the First, who's always being credited as the one of the greatest kings of England, right? Richard Lionheart. Richard the First hated England. He spent maybe 6 months of his entire life in England. He actually wanted to sell England. That's how much he hated England. And he spent most of his reign as king fighting crusades in the Holy Land, and lost, and then died on the way home from a infection. So one of the greatest kings in England hated England, and he was actually not English. In fact, after 1066, there is no such thing as an English king.
Oh, yes. I mean, we were at church. We was praising God. We were all happy, It was Valentine's Day, and, it was just a ordinary, like, Sunday type of thing. But like I said, I wasn't, she was a child then. And so,
His youngest brother, John, was considered one of the worst kings of England. John, that's where they got the Magna Carta from, was King John, which was Richard I's youngest brother.
she was in a different lot of things. Just like I say, she was ushering, so her parents had her in church, and my kids were a little bit younger. But
and I know that.
How do you call it? She was involved in the church. Parents, family, whole family was involved in the church, and so I mean, they're all good, great people. They're good people.
Right. And I know that you aren't really close with her parents anymore, but I'm sure they're probably still hurting. What do you hope? What do you hope? Can you, I guess, kind of speak to like what you hope that they can get out of this investigation?
Did you have your head attached? There's not much to know. That was such a great series. Did you see that though? The Tudors. The Tudors was one of my favorite miniseries.
To find out what happened. To find out what happened, and to find out if anything, if any, someone is responsible for it, that they, that justice will be served. But to just find out for.
He literally changed the entire world just to make it so he could marry her. And then when he figured out that she couldn't have any sons, he basically went ballistic. He was attacked. He was violated by a man. A man denied all knowledge. The man's clothes tell another story. If we can match the pollen, we can use to match the car, the man, and the boy. Yes, she was. Yes, most of them were related. Yes, he executed basically the whole family. The only one that wasn't executed was Amberlin's sister, who Henry dated first, and then I think the father. Tudors was an awesome show. Tudors was, but they were supposedly Welsh, but we don't know about that. Queen Elizabeth and her husband were second cousins. There's a reason why she didn't want to get married and have children. She was very, very smart. Elizabeth I was amazing. I mean, if you can basically annihilate the Spanish at that day and age, you're doing something right. She was an amazing person. But she didn't want to get married, and she didn't want to have a child because they would have basically usurped her and beheaded her too. I mean, look what happened to her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots. They were actually related. In fact, Mary, Queen of Scots, her grandmother was a Tudor.
For the family, especially Harold and Quilla, and
her grandmother was Mary, Queen of Scots' grandmother was Henry VII's daughter.
Everybody who loved her, just to find out what's going on, what had happened that night, and that like I said, if anyone is responsible for it, that they will have it's justice to be served, because it's just a lot of years, and I can't even imagine what the parents are feeling, at this time. It's so long. But like I said, initially, I wasn't really close with them, but we just went to church and attended church and knew we were family and fellowshipped. But after that day, when I think it was my brother-in-law.
Yeah, Charlotte is wicked smart. So we like to say here in New England, wicked smart. She's like wicked smart.
Came and knocked on our door. We ran right over there to go. It was like didn't know what to do, but just to be there and do anything that we could for them.
Right.
Not something that anyone would have to want to, it's just undescribable what my part was just being there, but I can't imagine what the parents and grandparents, but I was able to get closer with them at that time and both of their family, and we just did anything that we could do to support and love on each other. And as I feel the same ways now, just to pray for them and ask God to help in any assistance with the officials, the authorities, to find out, you know, what is to be. I can't speculate on anything, but I just pray that, you know, that things move forward, and that they be able to have some type of closure, or also justice, if anything. But I still always have my hope. Always at the end of the day, I don't never give up hope. Anything could be, I just keep on my faith and hope, and I pray that they do as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
That's all I can basically
Thank
say, because it's getting me kind of emotional to go back down there, because it's been
Geez, I hope they come up with something here soon. I'm pretty sure that this case is gonna. Like I said, I don't want to jinx it, but it's looking pretty good finally in that case, and that's all you can really ask for. I mean, same with the Mara Murray case. Hopefully that case kind of gain some traction too here soon. But I'm going to keep an eye on that. Hold on a second. Let me. I didn't want to play one more thing, and then we'll get out of here. I want to play this here. This is the story of the woman who dismembered her Green Beret husband after learning his secrets. Secrets are not good. Prosecutor in Cumberland County, North Carolina. Here we go to North Carolina again. Says Shayna Cloud unalived her husband, Clint Bonnell, following his announcement that he wanted a divorce. See, that's what happens. Just shut the hell up. Cloud was arrested when Bonnell's remains were found in a pond 3 months after he was reportedly missing. And this is Jeremy Weber again, but this is an interesting little story here. Let's go.
Wife is charged with murder after her veteran husband's dismembered body was found in a pond. Prosecutors allege travel nurse Shayna Cloud killed her husband Clint Bonnell amid divorce plans.
It's a good one. It's one of those ones that you can't. Are you taking off, Mustang? Let us know about your channel for sure. If you're taking off. Yeah, it's definitely one of these stories that you just can't make up.
And possibly an alleged confrontation over a suspected romantic partner. We're going to break down the gruesome details of this case and get insight on what's next with a North Carolina criminal defense attorney. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. What began as a routine welfare check for a missing veteran quickly spiraled into a gruesome and horrifying murder investigation in Cumberland County, North Carolina. We are talking a mutilated body, an alleged crumbling marriage.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said something. Don't be scared, Charles. Jenny's awesome. Jenny's amazing. I think it's easier just not to murder people. You think? Especially domestics. Domestics are so, especially when guys do it, because they make so many freaking mistakes. It's not even funny. It's just,
And a wife who's now accused of murdering her husband in cold blood. After Clint Bonnell, retired Special Forces soldier and aspiring physician's assistant, vanished back in January, and this was described, by the way, as very out of character for him to do this, this left his family demanding answers. But now, over 2 months later, authorities are pointing the finger at his wife, Shayna Cloud, a traveling nurse and former Virginia Department of Corrections employee. You see, Cloud was arrested on March 29th, now sits in jail, charged with first-degree murder and the concealment of an unnatural death. And what authorities believe she did to her husband is beyond disgusting. This all began back on January 28th when the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office says that Clint, a student enrolled in Methodist University's physician assistant program,
I don't know. I think she was just kind of like a normal, every ordinary housewife. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. This is actually the first I've heard of this too. I just wanted to, had a catchy headline here.
Failed to show up for morning class. His absence immediately raised red flags. In fact, his sister, Stephanie Firkins, told NBC News he was completely enamored with medicine and excited about his career path. He would not walk away from his life and his school and his daughter. So a concerned university employee called the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office when deputies.
It's just, you start to get into some of these, like if you watch enough Forensic Files or 48 Hours or some of these programs, it's just some people are just so dumb they probably shouldn't be doing stuff like this. Like if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna call, like the best ones I think are the ones where they call and said, "Oh, my wife, she accidentally unalived herself," right? Like with a gun. And then the cops get there and they find the gun in another room. And it's like, if you're going to act, you got to be a really good actor. You can't fuck this one up. You can't, some of these people are just really dumb.
Deputies got there, they found Clint's car, his book bag, his wallet, other personal belongings, but no sign of the retired soldier. Now, his wife, Shayna Cloud, was there. And she told investigators that she hadn't seen him since the day prior, January 27th. She told police they had both been at Fit for Life Gym, but then they left in separate vehicles, with Clint allegedly heading to Methodist University to study for an upcoming exam. But something didn't add up here, because in the arrest affidavits that were obtained by Law and Crime, police noted that
But I'll be the first person to tell you that, probably won't be the first person to tell you that if your wife ends up, hopefully not, you're going to be the main suspect. If you don't have a good alibi, you're going to be the suspect. And you're probably going to be going to prison for the rest of your life. Because 9 times out of 10, I think it's like 7 or 8, 70%, somewhere around there, it's going to be the husband.
car that Clint typically drove, a Mercedes-Benz, was
a nice car. 2015 Mercedes-Benz ML250 was present at the residence.
Parked at their home. They also noted that Cloud declined to file a missing persons report. And she said that
remember that wife that ran her husband over with a truck or something like that, then ran him over again like 30 times. That happened like 15, 20 years ago. Remember that? It's always good to see Charlotte here. Charlotte's amazing. And Farq. Farq is always good to be here. This is a classic domestic here.
She had no recollection of Clint returning home that evening. And when she woke up, his car was parked outside, but he was nowhere to be found. Now, later that same day, a second call came in, this time from someone unexpected. It was Clint's girlfriend. Yes, he apparently was having an affair. And she also requested a welfare check. And at this point, police began investigating this as a missing persons case. And we will get to this relationship in a minute. But I want to bring on right now special guest, North Carolina criminal defense attorney Kevin Marsiliot. Kevin, thanks so much for taking the time and coming here on Sidebar. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Good to be here. We're big fans of the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I want to take this piece by piece with you. Let's just start with what I've laid out so far. What are the red flags? What are your thoughts on what you're hearing?
Don't invest in
what
Bitcoin.
A wild and tragic story this is. This has recently been all over the news, all throughout the state of North Carolina.
Dino's a fucking classic. I'm putting all my monies into ramen noodles. I should get 5 packs. Fucking classic. What was his cause of death? I'm not sure. I think it was just, I'm not sure yet. Maybe the divorce.
I practice down in Wilmington, down on the coast of North Carolina. Fayetteville's about an hour and a half away, but this one has hit the news everywhere. And it's Cumberland County is a truly interesting place where you tend to get cases that are
Isn't that where Murdaugh was, Cumberland County?
a bit beyond the pale. But even for Fayetteville, this one is something that I've never seen, and I've handled homicide cases in Cumberland County. It is truly a unique situation, and so the entire case is one giant red flag.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. The fact that she refused to file a missing persons report.
I think her husband specialized in cheating. It's,
the fact that his car was found at home when Cloud claimed he drove separately. Those are problems, right?
Major problem that the defense is going to have a really hard time solving throughout this case However, she's presumed innocent. And as she
Nagging.
stands there, she is innocent, as her attorney reminded the court at her recent first appearance, where she was denied bond. One thing that sticks out to me, as somebody who's handled murder cases in Fayetteville.
Charles got a good channel. I was on there the other night driving around. I hope I didn't eat them all in one day. You probably could. Yeah, seriously, ramen noodles are always sold out. Does anybody eat any of the other ones besides chicken flavor? We go through ramen noodles in this house. We should just own the factory. I like the picante ones the best. Picante ramen noodles? Yeah. Sorry. Oh.
It is common there for them to assign some sort of monetary bond, even on a first degree murder case. Even if that's a bond that the defendant can't post, it may be $2 million, $3 million. In this case, they denied bond entirely, which in some other counties is common, but not so common in that specific location. And so what that tells me is that the state was able to put on an extremely compelling case at first appearance, that the facts are going to be overwhelming, that the evidence is going to be overwhelming, and that the court should have extreme concern about danger to the community and flight risk, such that no bond should be allowed.
Pretty chilling story, to say the least. But look, thank you so much for coming to us for our coverage on this. And
sorry.
I also want to thank and call out our sponsor and partner, Morgan & Morgan. Their support helps us to bring you these stories. Now, this is a friend, says all of this took place.
This is almost like the reverse of the what's-her-face case out there in Colorado. Morphew? Is it Morphew? Susan Morphew? I can't believe they haven't arrested the husband yet. I mean, it's just, I should check in on that case too. Pretty sure that's the case, the Morphew case, Susan Morphew. This is kind of like the exact opposite of that.
It's around 5 p.m., but here's what's crucial about that. She claims that it was after this conversation that Clint went to Methodist to study, which contradicts Cloud's narrative that he left to study after they worked out at the gym. So this girlfriend also revealed that Clint had texted her later that evening, and the alleged text message contains another key detail. According to the affidavit, quote, at approximately 19:53 hours, the girlfriend received a text message from Clinton Bonnell notifying her that he was home, told his wife about the divorce, and was going to bed. Two key details come from this. One, Cloud was allegedly made aware of the divorce at a point that is very critical to this timeline. And two, the girlfriend's...
Isn't Charlotte awesome? Charlotte with a really, really clever chap. I love it. I just love how the British talk sometimes.
Narrative suggests Clint did return home, contradicting Cloud's story that she could not recall if he came home. Kevin, again, now you're hearing a different party to this, providing a different timeline, and you'll have the text message history as well. What do you make of the conflicting accounts here between Cloud and the girlfriend?
Well, motive. I mean, this just screams motive for her to do something after she learns about his affair. And obviously the facts still need to be developed. It's unclear what she knew about the affair, when she knew about the affair. But the fact that she says she hasn't even seen him and his car is there, and text messages with the girlfriend apparently will confirm that he had told his wife that he was leaving her and had even gone so far as to meet with an attorney the same day, is going to be an incredibly compelling fact for the state. Probably goes a long way to determining why she's in jail with no bond at this moment.
I want to focus a little bit, more on these text messages, because just to be clear, text messages in general.
Motherfucker. That was one of the funniest movies ever.
So if Clinton texted his girlfriend at 7:53 p.m. saying he was home, told Cloud about the divorce, the cell phone records could verify that, right? I mean, how accurate are cell phone records?
Yes. So, well, first of all, they haven't found his cell phone. So obviously that's compelling in and of itself, that they find all of his other personal belongings, They eventually find the backpack. They eventually find the laptop. They find his wallet upstairs, apparently in the master bedroom, where it would often be kept.
Put it this way: if a guy's missing his cell phone, you're never going to find it. It's never going to be found. It's probably smashed into little tiny bits.
But they don't find the cell phone, but they do find her cell phone. And so there's cell site information that can be used to triangulate his location at the time, and would likely confirm that he was home when he was text messaging his girlfriend. There's the texts themselves that corroborate her story about what was going on. There's the meeting with the lawyer that can corroborate what was going on that day. All of those facts are likely going to stack up in a really negative way for the defendant.
And by the way, I mean, if the defense is try to challenge the credibility of this girlfriend, wouldn't the surveillance footage from, let's say, the gym or Methodist University, wouldn't that be the end all be all?
I think that's going to help the state a lot, because we're always looking for corroborative evidence, because, you know, everybody's got an angle and we never know who's telling the truth. But once you get that corroborative evidence, especially through digital evidence, that's going to go a long way. And in this case, they do have corroborative evidence showing exactly when he was at Methodist University, because the affidavits indicate they were able to track his time card and when he swiped in to study and when he swiped out, and even emails that he sent during that study session that appear to corroborate the girlfriend's version of events and go very much against the wife's version.
What tarot card chick? Dumb and Dumber was one. Dumb and Dumber was another classic. It's like one of those movies. Every time it's on, you got to watch it. You had a true crime tarot chick person on last night? I didn't see her. Yeah, pretty much. It's not looking good for this guy.
So let's continue the story, to continue what happened here. So this whole romantic girlfriend and impending divorce, very messy situation for Clint Bonnell. Now, but according to investigators, that text message to his
I do miss Southern Gal in here tonight. I don't know what she's doing. Hopefully she's okay.
girlfriend was the last time anybody heard from him. Cell phone records indicate Clint's phone was pinging at his home until January 28th in the morning time, and the data on the phone didn't come back online until January 30th. By this time, detectives had suspected foul play and made a very big move, reassigning the case over to the homicide unit. So the next day, January 31st, investigators returned to Clint's home with a search warrant, and what they found was absolutely chilling. It's actually penned into the affidavit by the investigating officer. His note reads, Clinton Bonnell's book bag was located in the residence, damaged by a projectile, suggesting he may have been harmed. But not just his book bag. Investigators also noted damage from a probable projectile on a laptop belonging to Clint. So, Kevin, going back to this, you know, the fact that Clinton's phone last pinged at home on the morning of January 28th, how does that contradict or support Shayna Cloud's statements? And also, let's just go back to the idea of, you know, this projectile and what it tells you.
Well, I think this is a huge problem for her, obviously. When you pair it with the fact that the body is found, you know, days later in a location 3 miles from this residence, and you pair it with the fact that her statements have already been massively contradicted, he has to have come home, his stuff came home, it's almost impossible that she wouldn't have seen him based on the information that we know to be true. And so certain aspects of her story almost cannot be true. Now, that doesn't mean that she's a murderer. That doesn't mean that she's a premeditated murderer, but it almost certainly means that she's lying. And that's the first problem that the defense is going to have to address, is how can she be both lying and innocent at the same time? Those two things often.
Yes, ramen noodle, Charlotte, is something here in America that you put a ton of in your pantry or cabinet or whatever, and when all else fails in the house and there's nothing to eat, there's ramen noodles. And although some people eat it religiously, I'd rather have like real chicken soup. You know what I mean? Like real with chicken and everything. I'll throw a whole chicken in there. I don't care. I only ate ramens for the first 44 years of my life. When I was single, yeah, that was probably more, mac and cheese and ramen. The majority pizza and beer, though.
Into a jury are not going to add up.
Oh, like I said, I was out.
So the investigation.
Hold on, let me play that if I can. I almost forgot. Shit. Hold on a second. Let me stop this here. I want to play this here. So I went out to a couple of spots tonight. That's why I was so late coming on. Hold on a second here. Okay, so it's this one here, 25. Okay, so these are all the ones. So this is we'll play this. I'll do. Never mind. I'll do shorts on these later this week. Yeah, it's one of those meals that you don't really have to. When you were single, yeah. When I was single, I had nothing in the house but beer and maybe some. Let's go back to this here. Leftover Chinese food, maybe.
Expands from there. Now we're up to February 1st, when investigators ended up crossing into Virginia, where Shayna Cloud had owned property. And with the help of the Virginia State Police, detectives executed search warrants on her car, rental home, cell phone, seized the phone in accordance with the search warrant. And that same day, Cloud revealed some additional details about what happened after she says the two of them left the gym. According to the arrest affidavit,
No.
after a brief...
You actually have a book. Okay, so the stints of boredom. It was boredom. Singledom was boredom. I would never be single again, ever. Could you imagine that? Tracy Fleetwood has an actual recipe book using ramen. That's amazing. That's a feat. That's awesome. He actually used to have a restaurant that just had mac and cheese. Like they had everything in mac and cheese and everything else, like a whole recipe, like a whole menu. You don't think you can see anyone's messages? Why? This is classic, though. A whole recipe book using ramen. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Okay, so after a brief confrontation about a note Shayna Cloud previously located that she believed was from a romantic partner of Clinton Bonnell's.
Confrontation about a note Shayna Cloud previously located that she
Food Line
believed was from a romantic partner of Clinton Bonnell's. She departed from the Fit for Life and went to a Food Lion. So now we're learning that allegedly Cloud was aware that Clint had a girlfriend and even appears to admit to confronting him about it at a time that is very critical to this investigation, just one day before he disappeared. Now, Kevin, they always say that in these kinds of cases.
That's a classic. This whole chat is freaking awesome. Is it a pop-up book so Dino and I can read it? It's got big pictures. I just found out last year you cooked them. Classic. This is freaking, oh my god! You better watch out, buddy. Charles was here. He may block you again. This is classic. The chat is off the charts today. It's awesome.
That people will allegedly or who are convicted of killing their spouses, it's one of several reasons, right? It's money, jealousy, anger, right? This is now leading into a case that the prosecution can ultimately tell to a jury.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think if you're looking at, profiles for female offenders, because, in our business, we defend men. The vast majority of crime is committed both allegedly and actually by men. So profiles of female offenders are very interesting to look at. And I think that's going to be relevant to the state. And I think that's going to be relevant to a jury. Is
I never knew something like that would exist. Oodles and noodles of ramen noodles ISP. Oh my God.
Is why would she have done this? And here, in many crimes, that's hard to tell the story on. But in this case, they've got a very compelling story that they can tell with facts that are happening in real time throughout the day of the disappearance. And her story is just not adding up.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much for putting Southern Gal's channel in here. She's awesome. Southern Gal's amazing. Yes, this is a great chat tonight. It's absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome.
So as investigators continued building their case.
No, they haven't found this guy yet. So $25,000 reward for information to find Clint Bonnell, white male, 6 feet tall, 95 pounds, retired Green Beret. This is the number right here. Sheriff's Office, Detective McLeod, 910-677-5548, or call 911.
Clint Bonnell's family grew increasingly desperate. His sister told ABC 11, "I know what he was doing the day that he disappeared, and he was making plans for his life and studying for exams the next day. I mean, all signs point to him vanishing, not on his own accord." But then on February 25th, a call came in that changed everything. A resident near 4200 Gainey Road, which is just about 3 miles from Clint Bonnell's home, reported a horrifying sight. A human torso missing its head, arms, and legs floating in a pond.
Okay, so they did find him.
In a 911 call obtained by WRAL, the distraught caller said it looks like there might be part of a body floating out in the water. It looks like it's been there a while. There's no legs or arms on it or nothing on it. It's in the middle.
It's Bob.
Of nowhere. And because of the body's condition, identification was impossible at the scene. DNA samples had to be sent to the North Carolina State Crime Lab and then forwarded to the Armed Forces Medical Examiner System, given Clint's military background. And a little over a month later, on March 28th, the lab confirmed the worst. These mutilated remains were indeed Clint Bonnell. And within hours of this discovery, Shayna Cloud was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and the destruction of a body, the concealment of an.
Yeah, I'm just this popped up on my alerts tonight, and I just wanted to watch it because this is the first time I'm hearing about this too. So they found him. Amazing.
Natural death, both of which are felony charges. As we were talking about before with Kevin, she was denied bond, and prosecutors allege that she shot her husband inside of their home on the night of January 27th when she learned of this divorce, and then they claim that she dismembered his body and dumped it into a pond. Kevin, made of questions here. First of all, that is disgusting, horrifying. But the ability of somebody to have the means and opportunity to do this, not only kill somebody, but dismember them, that's the allegation. What will you be looking for? Because that's not an easy task.
You hit the nail on the head there. This is where, if you're an investigator and you've developed a profile of what you think happened here, and you've developed a profile of who you think this woman is and why she might have done this, this completely throws you for a loop and throws the entire case on its head. Because I don't know many people that could do this.
Walk around, right?
Alone. It's hard to imagine somebody doing this alone. Moving the body at all would be very difficult. Moving the body and dismembering it to that level and moving it to another location down a very remote road, 3 miles down, as you said, from where it is suspected that the.
Yeah, you never know who you're sleeping with, that's for sure. She's accused anyways of not taking this.
Shooting would have occurred. That's just kind of mind-boggling, and I cannot think of any case, even that I've had, where there would be anything remotely close to that. And it makes you wonder whether, if she did do this, if she was involved in this, could she have even possibly done this alone? And it's hard to imagine.
Ooh.
You have to make the conclusion here, I imagine.
You know, what's really interesting about this here is that the Oreo McFlurry machine was working. Because I think that they do that on purpose. They advertise for the Oreo McFlurry, right? But then when you get there and order it, all of a sudden the machine doesn't work. So they're just either lying to you or that never works.
From prosecutors that the way in which this body was dismembered, the goal was to not identify it, right?
That absolutely yes. And of course, his DNA was on file with the armed forces because he was a retired special forces soldier. That's another aspect of this. My heart goes out to him, his family, the entire special forces community. I've represented Green Berets in the past. They are some of our very best, and just an incredibly horrifying way for any human being to meet their end, and just makes this such a tragic but also confusing case. I suspect there's going to be a lot more that's going to come out in the coming days, and it may take a very long time. For those not familiar with our justice system in North Carolina, and particularly Cumberland County, where they have an
Usually what I do now, if I go to McDonald's, is I'll go the drive-through. They'll ask what I want. I'm like, I will take a massive amount of stomach pain, and I'll also take like the worst stomach pain you can ever give me, and I'll take a Coke with that because that's basically all. I mean, I just refuse to eat at McDonald's anymore, ever.
extremely heavy docket. This is the location of Fort Bragg / Fort Liberty, one of the largest Army installations in the country, in what is otherwise a fairly small town. So that justice system, frankly, has a hard time making it through the docket that creates in its criminal court system. And as a result of that, cases typically await indictment, which is where this case is going to be.
If you ever feel like you can't go to the bathroom, just go to McDonald's. They'll take care of that. You probably won't stop for like a day.
It's sitting in district court. It hasn't yet been formally charged. She's been charged on a warrant, which can be issued by a magistrate. This is not a grand jury that's met yet. That comes much, much later. It may sit where it is for up to a year. And so it's going to take a long time for these facts to develop and come out. If there's a bond hearing, that would be the next opportunity for the parties to really put some of this stuff on the record. And that's where I would expect the state, if it has additional information that hasn't been put in the search warrant affidavits, which by the way is common, they're only going to put just enough to get probable cause in those affidavits. And I think there's going to be.
And if you complain, right? Like if you say you forgot the fries or something like that, you're really gonna pay for it, man. You might end up in the hospital.
Be a lot more that's going to come out in those proceedings, especially if the defense tries to argue for a bond.
And talking about the defense here, I've seen cases before where you have a dismembered body, but it doesn't necessarily mean a conviction for murder. So if you have the opportunity, I think, for the defense to say, and I don't know if this is something they might go with, but there was a quarrel between the two. There was some sort of disagreement. She took out a weapon, shot him, panicked, dismembered the body. Would there be a goal to try to lessen this from murder to, manslaughter, if that's an option in North Carolina?
Well,
or self-defense or something like that.
Sure. In a case like this one, husband and wife, there's always the opportunity for a manslaughter argument, because the argument from the defense could be, this is something that completely caught her off guard. Even if she had some inkling that he may be having an affair, that doesn't mean he's leaving her. Maybe she finds out, and in the heat of the moment, something happens. Maybe there's a struggle for a weapon. Maybe it's an accidental shooting. There's so many.
There's no such thing as an accidental shooting, okay? Especially when there's some sort of love triangle going on here.
Things on the defense side that you want to know, and we never want to assume anything because of that presumption of innocence. The state absolutely cannot assume anything because the burden is on them. The burden is on them to prove it was not self-defense, and the burden is.
That's a good call, Charlotte. I would look for tattoos for sure. You wrecked him.
It's on them to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she acted with premeditation and deliberation. And up to the point of what we were discussing earlier, there's a lot of possibly material there for a potential, this was a heat of the moment, no cooling of the blood, and therefore manslaughter, not premeditation and deliberation, which is required for first-degree murder. But everything that happens afterwards is going to.
That my first wife's cooking. That was another one of those. Yeah.
Be hammered by the state as evidence that there was a plan, because the argument from the state is going to be, you would never behave that way after.
Does it taste good? Yeah, it does, darling. It's fine. It'll be fine.
After the fact, if you weren't planning it before the fact.
And one more thing.
That's the thing. Like if you get asked if it tastes good, yes, it's great. You have to lie.
I want to mention here. So we reviewed additional court records, and it appears that Shayna Cloud on February 28th, after the discovery.
It's not like you can say, no, darling, this stuff really sucks. You may end up like this guy.
Of Clint's remains, actually petitioned for the court to assign someone to take control of Clint's property, and she named his parents in the filing. According to that court document, she requested, quote, that a guardian ad litem be appointed for Bonnell, that a receiver be appointed to take custody and control of Bonnell.
Are you going to bed, Paula? Have a good night. Good to see you. Hope you stay safe. I hope you have a good week. Paula's amazing. She's got a great channel. Thank you for all the, all the heads up on stuff, the emails and stuff. I'll be trying to figure out what's going on with that infant over there too. I just don't like to cover the infant stuff because it just, it just sucks. But we love you, Paula. Hope you have a good night. You're great. Paula's amazing. The guardian at Linham be appointed for Bonnell. The receiver be appointed to take custody or control of property. So they're in dispute with the property and stuff.
Bonnell's property and assets in order to preserve and manage the same pending final disposition. And she ultimately voluntarily dismissed that case. It is important to note that at this time, the investigators had found the remains. They didn't know that they belonged to Clint as of yet. Kevin, how does that factor into all this?
It's a really odd fact that I think could be spun a multitude of ways by both sides. But yeah, the fact that she moves her receivership.
I like to cook, so it doesn't bother me. Like I love cooking, so it just doesn't just don't always have the time to cook, but I love to cook. So if I'm cooking, it's probably good. It's probably gonna be a good thing. Her cooking was not good. It just wasn't it wasn't good at all.
Of property as quickly as she does.
I think she was trying to poison me, honestly.
But then later, at a pretty critical moment in the case, like basically as she's having her first appearance in court on the murder charges, her attorney voluntarily dismisses that request, which you can certainly understand why they would do that at that moment. I think the property is the least of your concerns if you're being brought before court on a first-degree murder charge facing either life or the death penalty. So yeah, it's a very interesting fact, and I don't think we'll fully understand the importance of that fact until we later come to understand truly all the details about their relationship, exactly how much conflict there was, were there financial struggles, is there going to be information indicating that she would have killed him just over property? I doubt that, but it could be some motive. Or is it something that develops after the fact as an attempt by her to make it look like she's acting as a grieving spouse?
Something's telling me she didn't do it. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm going to get the hell out of here. It's been, we're 3 hours. Yeah, for God's sakes, you poor people. All right. All right, so I'll keep an eye on that. I don't know. Something's telling me that she's, something doesn't seem right about this whole thing. It's not making sense. There's really no motive why. Okay, so anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming in. Charlotte, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. I missed you being here. Charlotte's awesome. Thank you, Dirty Diana. Thank you so much for coming in. You're awesome. Your channel's awesome. For those who don't know who Dirty Diana is, she's awesome. She's got a great channel. She's great. She's doing fantastic. Just need to get her to 1,000 subs here. Dino, you're awesome. Thanks, buddy, for coming in. Dino's excellent, awesome. Dino needs a channel too here. Shibby, it's always good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Amazing character, always keeping the chat going here. I'm going to miss people tonight. I know I'm going to do that, so I apologize for that. Jenny, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Stay safe. Tracy McFleet, I did it again. Tracy Fleetwood. Why do I keep saying McFleetwood? Thank you so much for coming in. Always good to see new people in here. Hope you're well. Let's see here. You have a wrench now, so that works. Women Doing Chaos was in here. Thank you, women, for coming in. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Awesome people there. I'm going to try to scroll up. Paula's amazing. Paula's an amazing person. She's always keeping me abreast of what's going on. She's great. Heather, you're amazing. I hope you feel better, Heather. Good news this week, though, I think. I forbid you for being sick. Let's see here. Heather's amazing. Heather's just an amazing, wonderful person. Honeybee was in here, and I don't want to forget Honeybee. Honeybee is she's stellar. She's just great. Her stuff is really good, especially the Billy the Kid stuff, history stuff. FarQ, thank you for coming in. You're awesome. Hope you're doing well over there in Australia. Let's see. Mustang 65 was in here. Mustang is awesome. Congratulations on your new channel. Hope you get that up and running soon. It's easy. If I can do this, anybody can do it. Trust me. Who else was in here? I know that there were a couple more new people in here. People on the replay, thank you so much for for watching. I know a lot of people watching the replay, so I really respect that. You're all amazing. Anyways, let's see who else is in here. Charles, good to see you always. Charles is great. I don't care what Dino says. I think you're awesome. My current comment. That's that. Let's see here. Let's see here. I know there was a lot of people in here tonight. I'm going to try to get to everybody. Let's see. I just can't scroll up all the time to the top. But anyways, there's a lot of great people in there, a lot of great channels. So check them all out. They have great, amazing stuff. That's what we're here to do, to promote the good channels, great channels. I'm going to forget people. I know I am. I apologize. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. It's just I can't scroll all the way back up to the top sometimes because my computer won't let me do that. But you guys are all awesome. If I forget people, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. But everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Nobody die. Miranda's here. Of course. Oh, Vid Inquiries. Vid Inquiries is awesome. She says great channel. She's amazing. Amazing person. She has awesome stuff. Vid Inquiries is why do I always keep forgetting to talk about Vid Inquiries? She's great. I'm going to be posting some shorts this week too because of the I went out on location this week tonight to get some more footage on some more of the cases that I'm covering up here. Thank you, Miranda. You're in Delphi? What are you doing at Delphi? I hope you're well. Sorry, I got to get out of here. I've been here 3 hours. Yeah, Miranda's awesome too. Miranda's great. Vid Inquiries is great too. And so is JCN, and Mom is awesome too. All right, so I'm going to play an outro. I'm going to get out of here. I really appreciate everybody for coming in. Whatever you do, don't die. And I'll see you guys all next week. Stay safe. You guys are amazing. I'll play my outro and then I'll get out of here. You guys are great. You're welcome, Charlotte. Charlotte's amazing too. Charlotte's an amazing person. And I'll see you guys all next week. Be good. Farq was here. Thank you, Farq.